Money boy, money boy, money boy. Trade, money boy, money boy, money boy. Trade. Private jet flights overseas, damn piece.
Gathering that he speaks against Tommy, so that's a good thing. I don't know what he's saying, but if he's speaking against Tommy, then that's great.
Hey, it's only a good thing if he got the right motive.
Yeah, and I don't agree with him telling lies either. But my thing is that his motive should be to serve as a warning to young people not to listen to this man because he's bitter and toxic, and he has hatred for black women that stems from I don't know where. But for somebody to be constantly preaching that kind of hatred against women continuously year after year, there's something wrong with him. Okay, there's nothing he's saying that's going to reconnect black men and women, heal the rift between us. There is a rift between us, and if he as a village elder, because I consider myself a village elder, and we have a obligation to raise our youth up in the right way, to advise them, to warn them, so they go along the right path to them being successful and to being happy. And Tommy, I don't see where he's doing that. How is he serving that? All he does is attack black women. He spews out hate speech. He's, negative and nasty. I've only seen him twice. The first time I saw him, he was talking about the young lady that got raped in the nightclub. He was defending the rapist, by the way. And so, I saw a video of him threatening to shoot a black woman who I think she rear-ended him or something in traffic. He was threatening to shoot a woman. He threatened to shoot her, an unarmed woman, a black woman. That's all I need to see of him, actually, because at first when I saw his video, I was so angry. I wanted to do a video in response to him talking about the lady that was getting raped in the nightclub because she was, drunk. And just because you're drunk in a nightclub does not mean you deserve to get raped. But he was defending the guy. And when I saw that video, I was so upset. I started to do a video on him then. But then I think I looked at another video and I was like, oh, this is what he does. It's all the same. He just hates women. So it doesn't. So, a video about him wouldn't matter. And then I could see he had a huge following. And then and I could look through the comments and see that it was just a pack of guys that that were agreeing with him. And then it was a few,
hey, but you gotta look at it like
women.
this. You gotta look at it like this. The majority of his followers and supporters are black women, though.
Yeah, I saw there were women in there. The women were, and that's the thing is that those women most likely need psychological help. They probably did not grow up with their father, not a loving father. They may have grown up with a father like Tommy, because Tommy, I understand, has daughters. So they're going to grow up used to hearing abusive speech and being abused by men, and they're going to find another man that abuses them. There are plenty of abusive people in the world, but those aren't the people that we need to follow and rally around. You would want to follow and rally around if you got to follow somebody. I'm not a follower myself, but then it should be somebody that doesn't spew hate speech. So if anybody is talking against Tommy, I'm all for it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna find his name and I'm gonna go cash app him when I get done here. I'm gonna go cash app this man, whoever he is, certified.
So before you give him your hard-earned money, let me say a few things. I'm Tough Love. You can check my channel out. I had the privilege and honor to have Manly Gossip come and bless the stage. So he came and said his piece. So this is the Passionate Bliss. Certified Truth. I am not a Tommy supporter. I am not subscribed to any of Tommy Sotomayor's channel, but right is right and wrong is wrong. My thought process is that he doesn't have an end state. And the end state of how long do I do videos about Tommy Sotomayor, talking about his children, talking about his color, talking about his OnlyFans versus actually talking about the support of black women. There is nothing on his page that speaks empowerment. There is nothing on his page that moves the needle forward in regards to the black community. So therefore, I find a lot of these people that talk about Tommy Sotomayor don't really have an argument. They don't really support black women like they say they support black women. So anybody spewing that type of hatred, that type of discontentment, they should be shut down. Now, you have the right as a content creator to say what you want, but this is a concept. The issue is that when you have women say, well, I'm just going to throw some money at him, but you don't know what he's talking about. So I talked to him and I also looked at his channel, and I'm telling you right now, if Tommy is toxic, then Certified Truth is equally toxic, and
Shit, I agree.
therefore no support should be given. So what say you?
Me, well, like I said, I don't know anything about him. I haven't seen it, but I would at least watch one video before I give money, because like I did my video on Kevin Samuels, but I watched 4 videos because that's all I can tolerate. I can't tolerate that because I'm very sensitive to people's energy, and I can't tolerate that kind of nastiness and negative negativity. So I could only watch 4 of his videos. I was able to watch 2 of Tommy's and 1 video of him threatening the black woman with a gun, the unarmed black woman with a gun, who wasn't even half his size.
I got you.
You know,
I
I
hear
watched
you.
that one.
This
And
is
then
my
for
thought
this guy,
process.
I haven't
My
seen
thought
anything.
process is, sister, is that you are ready to support anyone going against Tommy Sotomayor. And I think that's the problem. The problem is that we have this energy that as long as it's going against Tommy Sotomayor, I'm all for it, instead of
Yeah.
saying, let me continue to do my research. And I get what you're saying. You're just saying that, you feel like, Tommy Sotomayor has said some things that, rubbed you the wrong way. And I get it. As a black man to a black woman, I understand that. And again, I've addressed my concerns with Tommy, and we've come to a certain level of understanding. But I think that people shoot themselves in the foot when they make it personal, and they're personally adding his children, personally talking about what he's doing outside of YouTube, instead of addressing, if it's about the empowerment of black women, then talk about that, then empower some black women. But for people to rally against him with anybody, like anybody could just stand up in front of the class and say, I'm gonna lead y'all. Well, where the hell are you leading me to? What's the end game? And when you have this young man spewing out hatred because he thinks it's cool, he thinks he's gonna get views and likes, that is where people that are a little bit more mature, a little bit more successful, a little bit more age have to come in and say, bro, what are you doing? And that's where I came in yesterday. So if you go to his page, Certified Truth, and you hear the conversation, you will be like, this dude has no clue about what he's doing, and it's all about him and his feelings. That whole channel is him and his feelings and wanting Tommy's attention.
Yeah,
you're right, Tough Love. Yeah. What I was about to say is, you're right about. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Passionate Biz. What I was about to say is, you're right about Certified Truth TV. It's gonna be kind of hard to go to his channel and support him because he means good, but at the same time, he's not trying to help the black community. Because I went back to his channel.
Hey, hold on.
Like
a year
ago.
Good? How do you mean?
I mean,
how
like,
you mean good?
I don't think he means any bad against nobody else. He might not mean good against Tommy, but at the same time, though, he just seemed like he confused. He made 23 videos about Tommy. Like, I don't think he's trying to help the black community. I think he's confused. I really think this guy thinks he's helping the black community. I really think Certified Truth TV thinks he's helping black women. I think he thinks he's helping.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
So you saying, gentlemen,
I don't think he's confused. I think that he's been on YouTube for a little while in the bushes, and he understands that if he says the things that he's heard other content creators say, well, Tommy is against the black community. Tommy is a detriment to the black community. So that young man picks up that mantle and say, you know what, I'm going to do what they do. But the premise of why he started his channel was not because he wanted to uplift the black community, was not because he wanted to promote black men and women and togetherness. He started that channel off the premise based on what he said, because Tommy wouldn't let him on his platform, because Tommy called him gay. So he created a fucking combative page to say, oh, well, I'm now going to go at Tommy Sotomayor, and off the premise of uplifting the black community. But his page does not uplift the black community. So that was my question to him. When do you get to the uplifting part? Because right now you're spewing out hatred, and it almost looks like you're scorned, and you want his attention.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay. Well, there are some people, people think in different levels. Now I'm well over 40, almost 50. And so my thought process and the way I handle things is going to be different from somebody half my age. So I don't know how old he is, but there are people who have the mentality, well, I need to fight fire with fire. So Tommy, he gets on his platform. He talks about black women's looks. He talks about their hair, weaves, their children. He talks about all that kind of nasty, negative stuff. So if somebody's going to come back at him and talk about his children, his looks, and how he presents himself, then, he's earned that. So I'm not going to, necessarily down him or degrade that other content creator for going there, because Tommy goes there. So if he's on the same level, I'm going to fight with fire, then that's what he's going to do.
What did Michelle Obama say? Anybody, her most famous quote?
Yeah, but how old is she? She's in her 40s too, right? so
I got you. And this is no knock to you. This is no knock to you. I just feel like if you're saying that his content is toxic, and in order to fight his toxicity, with it, we're going to use more toxicity. And to me,
No.
there's no one wins. So my thought process is, if you're going to attack Tommy or address Tommy about the things that you feel that he is not. And you have to be those things. And if you don't display those things, then I'm calling a flag on the play. And I think that's the problem. It's like, well, if he talks about kids, people have the right to talk about his kids. Well, you can do that, but don't say it's for the uplifting of the Black community. You're doing that for your personal gain and for your personal attention and to gain some type of revenue off of the hatred that people have for Tommy Sotomayor. And that's my issue, that people stand behind a false narrative instead of just saying, well, I'm just doing this to get a couple dollars. Be real.
But the thing is that
And tough love.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh no, you can talk passionate.
I'm just saying that, if they're talking about his kids and they're exposing his lifestyle and his lifestyle proves that he is a fraud, then they do need to bring that out, especially if there are young people like the young gentleman here said he's been watching Tommy since he was in the 5th grade, and now he's, in his late teens or early 20s. And so for years, a young mind has been exposed to Tommy and his poison. And so if someone else is going to come back in that way and expose how he's a fraud in his own life, then I don't have an issue with that. That's not what I would do, because that's not how I approach things. I didn't say it was okay. I just said there are some people who do believe in fighting fire with fire. Now, Tommy is just a big, cesspool, and all his people over there, they're, bottom feeders in my opinion, and so I wouldn't engage with them in that way, because you have to go deeper into that cesspool, into that nasty ugliness to deal with it. So I wouldn't engage in that way. Now, in my personal opinion, Tommy never warranted a video from me, because, that's too much negativity and nastiness, to deal with it. But, but I feel like if his intention, or if what he does by doing that serves as a warning to someone who maybe their dad is not there, maybe, they don't have guidance to tell him, this guy is nuts, and, he hates women. His mother probably didn't love him, or whatever, there's no one there to try to counteract what he does. So in that sense, then he is beneficial, because if he's able to expose some fraud in his own life or some hypocrisy in his own life, then that's great. But, I wouldn't address it that way. But because I'm not willing to engage on that level, that doesn't mean that somebody else, shouldn't or couldn't. And so, but now what I do disagree with his lying. If he's making up lies, then yeah, that's an issue. If he's, slandering people, yeah, that's
Passionate Bliss.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you a question, Passionate Bliss. But I get what you're saying, and you're right. And I get what Tough Love is saying also. But I don't believe hate beats anything. Hate just makes the situation worse. That's why you got black on black crime, and you got all these things going on. Like, maybe the dude is a fraud, but I feel like this, though. If you gonna use, like, okay, Tommy has earned for people to come at him like this, but a lot of people who make videos on Tommy are trying to make money. Because Tommy is big time. When you put Tommy in your videos, he will bring the people to your channel. But at the same time, though, if Certified Truth TV just would keep it real and say, I'm just trying to make some money off this guy, I'm trying to make some money off this situation, I respect them even more. But I can't respect him if he really believes what he's talking about. And if he's lying, I definitely can't respect the liar.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I do understand that. But the thing is that, and then I do see Karen in the chat saying how many white supremacists have I gone after. First of all, I don't go after people. I don't actually engage in the personal, except with Kevin. I did engage in the personal because because of how but you have to watch that video. But other than that one area, it was never personal. It was always what I objected to. Now, Tommy, he's just too nasty for me to engage. Now, as far as Karen saying how many white supremacists have I engaged? None. Why would I engage with them? They're not in my community. The average Black kids know, hey, I'm not going to sit down and try to learn at the foot of a white supremacist. He hates me. Now, the average Black kid don't need much of an education on that. They saying die, nigger, die. I was like, I don't know if that word is bad for YouTube. They're saying, die, Black people, die. So he ain't going to sit down and absorb what a white supremacist said. But our kid may actually go like this 5th grader and sit down and listen to Tommy and absorb what he's saying. To me, Tommy is more dangerous than a white supremacist. And
I don't know about that now.
Why is your 5th grader listening to Tommy Sotomayor? That is. See, here's the thing. We remove the responsibility of the parents, the uncles, the aunts, the role models around that child. Why is a 5th grader listening to Tommy Sotomayor? We say Tommy Sotomayor is the problem instead of his parents. I can do this all night, folks. We're focusing the attention on the wrong person.
But the thing is that we can't
But
pretend. We're saying don't absolve the parents and the aunts and the uncles for their duties, but that we can't pretend like there aren't negligent mothers. There aren't kids who are being raised by the VCR and the TV and the video games. There are kids who are being sit down in front of it and the mom's gone. You know, so we can't pretend like that isn't the case. That's when the village has to raise a child, and the village has to raise their voice and say, hey, no, he's not right. Your mom is not in the house right now. She might be working 2 jobs because she's abandoned by the father, but you know, and she's not there to raise them. So we can't pretend that that isn't the case. So maybe he's watching Tommy because his mom is not there. She's working 2 shifts. But you know, but as a
let me
village
ask you a
elder,
question.
my obligation is to say, do not listen to this man. He's poisonous. And if somebody else is
Let me ask you a question.
to do it, I'm not condemning them.
Let me ask you a question, Passionate Bliss. Passionate Bliss, you all right, but then if we start saying negligence and the parents is not there, that's a whole nother issue. Now, there's a lot of bad stuff on TV, and if the parents ain't there to stop their kids from watching it, then that's a whole nother deep problem. Where's the father for the mother at? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So whoever, if those kids are there by themselves and they're watching Tommy videos, they're probably watching everything. There's a lot of bad stuff on TV, so we get into a whole different topic when we start talking like that.
Hey, Tommy ain't out here. He ain't causing these kids to go out here and kill each other.
Exactly. So here's my thought process. Passionate Bliss, I'm gonna have to subscribe to your channel. I like your energy. I like your style. Okay. But here's my thing, right? I feel like there's, I mean, we could go a lot of ways with this conversation. I understand that there are people that support Thomas Sotomayor because it's a pure entertainment thing. That, you know, if it don't apply, they let it fly. And I get that. But I also get that, you know, a lot of people feel like Tommy Sotomayor is outing them. They're outing their mom, they're outing their aunt, they're outing their grandmother. Tommy is talking about issues that a lot of people are scared to say out loud. Like when you start, come on now, you know, if you say something about a group of black women, that those black women, in order to get you back, we're going to go to a shaming tactic. Now, do he got issues? We all got issues. But the fact of the matter is, you don't have to listen to him. You don't have to subscribe to him. You don't have to bring his name up. There are a lot of things you can do to combat him. But a lot of times when people bring his name up, it be frivolous points. Like you just said something that I believe somebody could take out this video and say, well, if the mom's not home, et cetera, and she's being negligent. That right there, somebody can take a clip out of that and say, oh, she must got an issue with black women. She must got an issue with mothers. She must got an issue with single moms. And that's what I see a lot of people do. They take a small clip, run with that narrative, and now they promote that rhetoric instead of holding everyone responsible. Tommy Sotomayor don't raise my kids. And I'll be damned if I sit back and allow my kids to listen to Tommy Sotomayor. So blame the parents. You in 5th grade, you should get your ass whipped.
I do.
Yeah, I exactly agree with that.
I do blame them.
But see,
at the same time, I'm not going to fail to help. I'm not going to, it depends on what do you feel your obligation is as a member of the black community. How much do you feel you are responsible for doing as a village elder? You know, and I feel that my obligation is to speak on something. Now, the reason why I spoke on Kevin and not on Tommy is because Tommy, that's his opinion. We're all entitled to our opinions. I don't really care what your opinion is. It doesn't combat me. My issue with Kevin is that he presents himself as a counselor, as an advisor, and he's not qualified to do that. He's got no education, no training. That's my issue with him. And somebody will look at his channel and say, hey, he's a professional. Get on the suit.
Oh Lord, I'm about to comb your hair, girl. I'm about to play in your locks, girl.
No, I got to finish. Now, if you that's my issue with Kevin is he presents as if he's a qualified, trained professional, and he's not. And I hear people listening to it and say, yeah, or women. I see him, tearing apart women. But he looks like he's a professional. He's presenting as if he's a professional. Tommy flat out said, "This is my opinion. This is what I think. Look at his hair." And so I can respect that all day. That's his opinion. That's one of the reasons why I never.
Well, Kevin Samuel said he was an image consultant. He said he an image consultant. That's what he said he is, right? An image consultant.
Let me ask y'all a question right now. Who more dangerous then? If you saying that Tommy Sotomayor is less dangerous because he don't got a suit on, if you look at their followings, they both got a big following. So they both are leading people in a direction. Man, I'm telling you, Tommy Sotomayor and Kevin Samuel got a big following. So it don't matter what kind of clothes they wear or what they say. It matters that a lot of people follow them. So if they're saying bad things, people are going to follow them. People are going to support those guys. It don't matter about the suit.
Yeah, but it's the weight. It is matter. It's the weight of how much people will give your words. Tommy sitting up there in a jersey or whatever, in a ball cap. I notice it's sometimes his opinion, but Kevin is sitting there in a suit saying, I'm an advisor, you know, and
Manly, tag me in when you're ready, bro. Just tag me in, bro.
Matchmaker. You assume, the assumption is that he's a professional, but he's not. And so that is the danger that lies in with him, is that he presents as if he's a professional.
Manly, you ready? You ready for me to go in, bro? You ready for me to talk to this beautiful queen? Okay, so check this out. Kevin Samuels, what makes you a professional? Can anybody answer that?
I think making a professional. All right.
For what Kevin is doing, he would, in my opinion, he would need to at least be a certified relationship coach. He would need to be a certified life coach. He would.
Ain't no such thing as certified.
Hold on, wait. This is what I want. This is how you debunk things respectfully. Check this out. Shout out to Sugar Shake. This is how you debunk things respectfully. First of all, he is an image consultant. He is not a relationship coach. Him being an image consultant, he is a professional. He looks the part. If you look at him, wait, hold on. I know you're ready to get me. If you look at him, 9 times out of 10, if a woman says, I want a man to look a certain type of way, I want him to be well groomed, I want him to be I want him to have a certain persona about him in regards to how he dresses, his mannerisms. Now everybody's kind of challenging his mannerisms, so we ain't gonna go there. However, I would say his appearance in regards to when he comes live, he doesn't curse. So there's a lot of things that a lot of people. Well, I mean, it's not.
It's full of him cursing women out. You do need to watch my video.
I mean, okay. So he doesn't pride himself on using curse words in every other syllable. That's what I'm saying. He doesn't run to that. He can have a conversation. However, he's very aggressive and straightforward. And a lot of people can't handle that. They can't handle saying this is if I'm an image consultant, I can tell you your image doesn't fit the bill. You're average at best. There were a lot of women that were triggered. A lot of them said they didn't like the way he delivered it. But here's the thing. Why is Derrick Jackson not delivering that type of message? Derrick Jackson built his platform on helping women to reflect or deflect versus reflect.
You know, and that's my thing and that's one thing people confuse. They confuse it too. And I kept telling them that when they would comment on my video. I never said that I disagree with anything he said. I never said I disagree with any opinion. I said I disagree with the fact, because he's not just image consulting on that channel. He's gone beyond that scope. He's now telling women to go back to abusive husbands. He's now telling women to give custody of their husband of their child to their husband. He's now going beyond to the part where he's telling women to start having sex after 3 days. He's left the realm of image consultant and he's gone into relationship and life coaching. And he's not qualified.
He can't have an opinion.
All right, let me ask y'all a question though. Now, he might have gone beyond that, but is it his fault that these people are listening to him? These people who are listening to these guys must be brainwashed. Because at the end of the day, Kevin Samuels or Tommy Sotomayor cannot control me. I can go talk to Kevin Samuels right now. He can't tell me that I ain't no high value man. He telling these people what they are not, and they are listening to him. I blame these people for listening to this man. How you gonna go up on his channel and let him tell you to have sex in 3 days? You telling me that you must have had a low self-esteem. If a woman gets on the channel and he tells her, you need to give it up in 3 days, and she do it, something wrong with her personally. I'm like, oh, look, I'm gonna look at her like, so Kevin Samuels dictating your life now? Dang, that's powerful right there. He knows how to prey on the weak. And these weak people go to his channel and they listen to him. I blame these weak people for falling for this mess he is saying. Like one guy gave him $10,000 to consult. Come on, bro. You're going to get this man $10,000. Something was wrong with you before you even went to Kevin Samuels. You got some serious issues. That's my opinion about these people.
I agree. But the thing is that, and the reason that is the case as far as the women, because really I'm concerned about the women. The men I'm not so particularly concerned about, because those women that call in, he insists that they be under 25. So he's targeting the young women. Young women they're young, they're impressionable. You can tell by the way they talk that they're not the brightest, you know, and they obviously didn't have a daddy that hugged them and loved them. You know, I did. So Kevin can't determine my worth. They allow him to determine his worth. Now, is it his fault they listen? No, but then that goes back to what is my responsibility. I cannot say that I'm not culpable if I don't say anything against it. Now, if I sit there and let thousands of women listen, I never once tried to say, hey, y'all don't listen to him. He is not a professional. He is not trained. He's not qualified. You do not need to do that. And, you know, he doesn't get to determine not only for those men, he does not represent them all, you know, and he can't determine what they like, what they want. He doesn't decide that, you know, and, you know, so that is my biggest thing, is that I have to be able to go to sleep at night and say, I did something about it. If there's an issue or a problem in the world, the entire universe, and it's something going on that is wrong and it is ugly and they're being victimized, they're being abused, they're being destroyed, they're being given, you know, reckless, irresponsible advice, I cannot not say anything. That's how I'm made. I can't just not say anything. I have to warn. I have to put out warning.
But check this out, though.
Look, check this out. On him, and that video was a warning. And in that video, I never said how I felt about Kevin. The first one, but because I got so many attacks saying you women like you, women like you, then I came back and made the second one and saying, no, this is actually what I think, you know, about him and his platform. The first one was just a warning because I can't, and I intended to never speak on him again because I can't go to sleep at night knowing there's women being brutalized, and I never took one step to try to stop it. So that's how I'm made, and I feel like that's my obligation. As a
Love Bub. Hey, Love Bub. Hey, what you got to say?
But Kevin Samuel said he got people married though.
He's been married twice himself, and that's the only.
I'm talking about he led the people getting married. You know what I'm saying?
I understand. He's had three. But the thing is, and that's the only reason. The only thing about his personal life I address is him being divorced twice and not married now. So he got 3 people married. He also got himself married 2 times, and it failed because in spite of his 6 figures. In spite of him being high value, as he self-proclaims, 2 women left him and said, never mind, we don't think so. That money ain't enough. So he has proven by his own life that his theory doesn't work. So him getting 2 people married, most likely if they follow his blueprint, they're going to end up in divorce court too. Because
that's just like Steve Harvey then. That's just like Steve Harvey.
I think that you okay, so here's the thing. I look at people's energy, and I know I'm not cammed up right now. I'm actually writing a paper as well. But the fact of the matter is, I look at people's energy and how they talk about certain people. And my thought process is this. Are we saying that Kevin Samuel's theories do not work because he was divorced twice?
I'm saying that is proof that his theory doesn't work. And how can he deliver something for you that he can't even deliver for himself?
What life coach?
Not only is he uneducated, he can't even say by his own life example that this works. But because now there's some couples on here that don't have an education, but they can sit there and say, I've been married for 25 years. My parents have been married for 54 years. So they can have no degree, but they got life experience. They can tell me, and I might listen to him. So
Kevin Samuels doesn't have life experience?
Yes, 2 divorces. Proof that his theories don't work.
Well, here's the thing. If he has 2 divorces, he can tell you what not to do, right?
No, he can tell you what he did. That's all he can do.
Right. I mean, whether he tells you what he did.
That's the equivalent to a crackhead telling me don't smoke crack. You know? So
and shit, are you gonna listen?
He's a crackhead. You know?
Listen to me. This is my thought process. My thought process is that we are quick to say these. We're gonna say men because we're not talking about women right now. These men are not relevant because of this, and this, and this, and this. Now, here's the thing: when you lay it out real quickly, a lot of people say, "Well, you got to have this, you got to have this." Bro, I know of plenty of smart people who ain't go to college that probably could walk the dog on anybody when it comes to politics, comes to economics, comes to family-oriented stuff. So that to me is a point that's irrelevant. But we point those things out to discredit him. Is what he's saying, because you said you have no disagreement with what he's saying. So I didn't
say whether I agreed. I didn't say whether I agreed or not. Let me see my second video. Yeah, I didn't say in the second or the first video if I agreed with him or not.
Well, do you?
I never said. But
well, that's the question.
I would have to address it point by point. I'd have to go through his platform point by point by point.
Him telling the woman that she was average at best. Do you agree with that or not?
No, I don't.
Why don't you?
Because the only thing that he can say with any level of credibility, with any level of certainty, is you're average at best to me. That's the only thing he can say with any certainty, because the John Doe next door might think that she is the best looking woman he's ever seen, because studies have shown that men primarily marry women who have the bone structure that their mother has. And I know a man, he's very handsome, and he married a homely looking girl, and I wonder why he married that ugly girl. But because they were at church, and I sat next to her, and I looked at her from the side, she looked exactly like his mother from the side. From the side, she looked exactly like his mother. And I said, oh my God, that's why he married her. Because the thing is that just because you think that I'm a 4 or a 5, that don't mean that somebody next to me, I might look just like his mama, and he think I'm a 10. So he
with
can't
all
tell
due
her.
respect,
The only thing he can
with all
say
due
is,
respect,
I think you're average at best.
she said that she was a 5. She said it. So you can't say this man is calling her this, and that when she said it herself. And on another note, when you lack confidence, you automatically get knocked down some numbers. She lacked confidence. Right. And that was clear across the board. I don't care in what profession. I'm a 20-year Army veteran. I can tell you when I see someone who lacks confidence. So the fact of the matter, she lacked confidence as a 6-figure earner, as an entrepreneur, which was crazy to me. But the fact of the matter is, she lacked confidence. She didn't consider herself to be a 7. He said on a scale of 1 to this, she's gonna pick the lowest one. Well, damn near the lowest one. So she lacked confidence. So for people to be upset and mad and say, well, you didn't sister girl him, you didn't best him, so now we got to do it for you. And that's what I've been seeing. A lot of people feel like we need to be the big sister for you. We need to rally against him because she didn't do her job. She failed.
Okay, we got 2 new people that came on, Cole Gates and Suge Knight. Y'all can come in and talking as well. What's y'all opinion on this situation?
I'm just stopping by, man. I mean, I ain't really got too much, say so in it. I'm just, I'm just, like I said, I'm just here so I don't get fined. But I'm just cool. And this is UBM, by the way, bro.
Oh, okay, UBM. Cole Gates, you got anything to say, man? I guess not. So we can go back to the argument with Passionate Bliss and Mr. Tough Love. But Passionate Bliss, you said something earlier. You said something about he brings 25-year-old black women on, and you said they're not that bright. So he's aiming for women that he thinks is not intelligent, but you also diss the women too, so you telling me these women that come on to Kevin Samuels show is not intelligent?
To be honest with you, most of them know. They annoy me. That's
why
I don't listen. Those women annoy me because it's like they can't.
That's a big.
For one, off the bat, what annoys me about these women is that they have come on this show giving Kevin Samuels the authority to determine their value. So that's somebody who doesn't know her own worth, and she needs him to decide it for her. And then, and not only that, they're all young and they're all very inexperienced, and they all, sound like they're a little bit slow to me. They don't seem like they're that bright. But now keep in mind, I've only listened to 4. I only watched 4 of his videos. So because I couldn't take anymore. But on all of them, the women were slow. It's like they were slow and they, couldn't formulate their thoughts. It's like they couldn't respond. Even the average at best girl, it's like she couldn't formulate her thoughts. And he even asked her. He said, "What do you bring?" I can help him with his business. He don't need help if he's 6 figures. So she was not bright. She wasn't that bright. I guess her daddy taught her how to work, but didn't teach her how to have relationships. I don't understand. And the thing is that most of these women, the only thing that they have that Kevin has that he can actually offer them in reality is access to those high value men. And that's.
Let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask you a question. Tough Love. Do you believe those women were stupid? Because all them women couldn't be stupid. Now I'm just like, dang, all them black women stupid. All them the white women too. I don't know about that.
Yes, because you know what? I watched a different show today because it said married couples evaluates Kevin's video. And I watched him. He was talking with 3 white women. They were equally as stupid. Not necessarily they were stupid, but it's that they were not not quick thinkers. They were not very bright. They weren't very well versed. They seemed a great degree uninformed. But the thing is, if you're 25 and less, how much experience do you have? Unless you were extensively educated, unless you were, grew up in that kind of environment. For one, you wouldn't need help getting to a 6-figure man because you probably grew up with 6-figure men, And so
let me ask you a question though. Let me ask you a question. Some of them women,
I saw him on a panel with 6 women, and none of the 6 women could get with him. And the rationales he were using, in my opinion, were Mickey Mouse level rationales, and not 6 of those women could get with him. I was so pissed off, and I was like, 6 bitches, and none of you can get with him. And it was really discouraging as far as how these women process and how they think, and how they maneuver through life.
Hey, let me ask you a question though. So does that mean the women was stupid, or Kevin Samuels is just that intelligent? Because at the same time, though,
Good point.
that's a shame. 6
Good
women.
point.
I can't believe 6 women are that stupid. That don't look good. That don't look good. Black women that stupid. Then I don't know about that.
Manly gossip. This is the issue. The issue that I see that it's a lot of times where people, women have been doing a great job, especially in the last couple years, at being able to out-talk men. And when you're able to out-talk men, you're able to best them with the narrative of you're a deadbeat dad, you're not this, you don't have this, you don't have that. Then it's an easy win. I looked at people try to debunk what Kevin Samuel said, and for a lot of it, it's let me shoot the messenger and not shoot the message. No one is debunking what he's saying. Everyone is talking about his character. Well, I think he's gay because he sits like this or because of this. That has nothing to do with the conversation. If you're saying these 6 women could not best him, they were not intelligent, then that has nothing to do with Kevin Samuels. That has everything to do with those women. But the issue is that normally when it's one-on-one, the person that wins the argument is the person that's yelling, snapping their finger, rolling their eyes. It's not like they Candace Owens. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's just real. I think a lot of people feel like the louder you get, the more you're making a point. And a lot of women have been doing arguments like that for years.
Mm-hmm. And you know, and the thing is that, you know, and you were saying that because Manley had asked, is it that they were stupid or he was that smart? It was not the case that he was that smart, because the rationales that he was giving to support his opinions were, in my opinion, Mickey Mouse level. A grade school student should have been able to refute what he said, but these women couldn't even do that. It's like they were all floored and dumbfounded. I don't know if they had ever been experienced with Kevin Samuels before or not. And I think because he was calling into that show. And I think
let me ask you a question.
There was 3 of them actually on that particular show. It was 3 of them, but I just
Passion and Bliss.
It was 6.
Let me ask you a question though. If those women are stupid, why aren't these intelligent women who can battle him getting on this show? Because at the same time, I want to see some of these women that say they can battle him. Then, like, I'm not saying I'm a fan, but at the same time, I want to see these women get up here to say they can go toe for toe with him. That's what I want to see.
Let me tell you why. They're not going to call into his show because Kevin Samuel, number one, he's not a skilled debater, but he pretends as if he is. Now, he can fool someone who also isn't a skilled debater into thinking he's skilled, but he's not skilled. What he does is he bullies them and he sets it up so that he can succeed. This is what he does. When the women who start to disagree with him, because I've heard some of them come on there that might have been able to go with him, but he cut them off. He hung up on them promptly because this is what he does. He hangs up on them. He curses them out. He plays this clown music while they're talking, and then he he talks over them. He cuts them off, and then says, "Don't interrupt me." But he just cut her off. You know, he cuts him off. He talks over them. So no thinking woman, no intelligent woman, no mature woman is going to go on there when that's what he does. And I only watched one video now, and I saw him do it on multiple ones.
Let me tell you what you're gonna have to do. He's just like Tommy Sotomayor. That's his platform, and he's gonna do that. For you even stand a chance against a guy like that, you're gonna have to play his game. You're gonna have to listen to him, and you're gonna have to answer his question. Yeah, he still might do the same thing. You're gonna have to play his game, or you're gonna have to get him on another platform to be able to go against him with a moderator. But to go against people like Kevin Samuels and Tommy Sotomayor, you have to play their game. Because they're going to try to manipulate you. They're going to try to, if you don't answer my question, they're going to act like little kids and stuff. You have to learn how to play their game. But at the same time, it is challenging to go on their platform and go against them because everybody's on their side and they got the power to cut you off. But you got to learn how to play that game too. Sometimes you're going to have to play their game.
No, or I'll just go on my own channel and make a video warning against it. You know?
True. Yeah.
Like,
you always
because to me, the purpose of communication, why, and also another reason why I wouldn't go in there, because to me, debating doesn't solve problems, because I feel like we have a problem in our community that needs solving. I am a problem solver, and I want to speak about the problem. What Kevin is doing is laying down the law and telling people how they should be and what they should want and how they should live. And and to me, that's not his place. And he's not solving problems. He debates with people. Now, debate is not what you use to problem solve. You have to have a dialogue. You have to have a discourse. You have to have an agenda, and an agenda can't be to win. The agenda is not to win. The purpose, when you have dialogue, the goal is to understand and to be understood. Now, I understand what everything Kevin is saying. I don't agree with him. And so, but I do not, but I object to the fact that he looks like he's professionally trained to do what he's doing and he's not. And that is the
Let me ask you a question.
A warning. Now, I've done the warning. So I'm not going to do another video on Kevin because I've done the warning. That's my job. I did my job. Now I'm going to move on because my channel is about love. You know?
Yeah, you're right. And I agree with you. Like, you see how I'm on my channel and I let y'all talk. At the same time, they're not going to let people talk. I'll let y'all feel comfortable like this is your channel. Because if I start trying to dominate y'all, it's not going to make people comfortable. You have to let people talk. So see how comfortable you are? It's like you being on your own show. Tommy's not going to do that. Kevin Samuel's not going to do that because they feel they're going to lose power if they let someone talk over them or something like that. Like the whole time I was letting y'all go back and forth. I'm not trying to debo anybody on my show. I'm trying to have everybody like, oh, I want to come on this show and talk and, express yourself. If they would do that, it would be better, but they're not going to let you come on that show and get no kind of shine like that. They're just afraid they're going to lose. See me, I ain't afraid to lose none because at the same time, y'all making my show go. It's making me look good to have y'all on the show talking, but you think Tommy Sotomayor going to let you come on his show and do all this stuff? No. Kevin Samuels, no.
No. But I don't know if Mr. Tough Love has anything to say, but he brought up 2 points I wanted to speak to because he mentioned that no one has been able to debunk or refute what Kevin is saying. And my position is that's not what I'm here for because he's entitled to think what he thinks. He's entitled to believe what he believes. He's entitled to get on a platform and share it with everybody, but he's not entitled to pretend like he's a professional that he's not. He's not entitled to pretend like he's, speaking for a group of people who did not ask him to speak for them. And he can't say definitively, they want this, they want that. You don't know them all. You haven't interviewed them all. And you don't have any data to support, what you're saying. For most of it, it's his opinion. He's entitled to his opinion. So I would never refute what he's saying because he's entitled to believe that. And if he thinks that's going to work, then great. But my issue is the fact that he looks like he's a professional and he's pretending as if he's a professional, saying he's a counselor, and they think they hear certification when there's no certification. It's a made up title. Anybody can make it up. See, let
me ask you a question though. Go
ahead. I had one more point, but it's a different point. What were you saying?
No, I was saying is he ain't the only one looking professional. I see women on here looking professional, giving out bad points too. So I mean, it's women, men out here that look professional that do this type of stuff. You always gonna meet some professional who can con people, and a lot of people said Kevin Samuels is a con. But my thing, why are these people giving this dude this money though? Why? I'm like, I heard stories and I read about stuff. These some fools, not just women, men and women giving their money to this guy. They gotta be some idiots, man. I don't get it.
Yeah, and I know, and that's the things that you said that women do it. Oh, go ahead, Mr. Tough Love. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I don't want to crucify this point. Go ahead and finish your statement.
Okay. Well, and because Manley had just said that there's women on here doing the same thing. Because somebody came in my comments too under that video and said Sheree or something like that. So she's the same as Kevin. And I said, well, if you feel that she's and I said, well, if you I never heard of her, I never seen her video because I don't gravitate to that because it's not what I do. But I don't really care about this whole manosphere and womansphere beef they got going. I could care less about it. But the thing is that now what I told her is, if you feel like, I said, I've never seen her video. I don't know who she is. But if you feel like she is abusing women, if you feel like she is misrepresenting data to back up her opinions and give them elevation above the status of opinion, and if it's facts and truths, and if you feel like there is someone who is uneducated and unqualified giving advice that could be to someone's detriment or even their death in one case, if you feel like she's doing that, make a video about her. Now, I haven't seen that woman. She's not come across my radar. So I don't even make a video about her, but I have seen Kevin, and the fact that he's presenting himself as if he's a professional, that is why I felt like I have to warn. That is my personal obligation to warn.
All right. So you know why you seeing Kevin, because Kevin is bigger than her. That's why. But what you got to say, Mr. Tough Love?
I'm just over here kind of examining everybody's body language and stuff or whatever. So here's my thought process. I'm not a part of the manosphere. I'm not a part of the womansphere. I'm kind of neutral. I think that everybody has their points from time to time. What they said, a broken clock could be right two times a day. So I'm I've seen the Cynthia G's, the Tanya TKOs. I've seen women that present a professional narrative that spew out some things that I would question, that I would scratch my head. So I don't know why. You can be a professional and be a janitor. You can be a professional and be, you know what I'm saying, work at the post office. Like there are certain jobs, you know, well, all jobs, as long as you're working a 9 to 5, but you're an entrepreneur, you can be a professional. Now, I don't know why the word counselor keeps coming up. Anyone can give advice. You don't have to be well educated to give sound advice. You know, common sense goes a long way. So I just feel like we spend more time trying to find out a person's background and not try to hear the actual message. I don't think what he's doing is spewing out hatred. I don't think what he's doing attacking black women. I think that there are some women that are upset because they feel that Kevin Samuels or the men like Kevin Samuels would not choose them. And because they would not be chosen, the best way to attack him is to now talk about his sexuality, talk about his education, talk about his professional status and certifications, instead of saying, well, is the man's message wrong? And I think that he's came at women and men, but it wasn't until he came at women to now let's get rid of Kevin's message. And as long as you're doing that, you got to understand that there are men out there that appreciate the fact that he can stand on his own, and not a lot of women can debunk it. And let me address one more thing. She said that that I guess women in their right mind or well educated, you know, don't want to really go on his show. My thought process is women that are well educated in their right mind in successful relationships or successful entrepreneurs, they don't care about what Kevin Samuel said, because they're living their best life. They're doing what they need to do. Only the people who care about what Kevin Samuel say and Tommy Sotomayor says, that's what makes it relevant. If you're not bothered or moved by it, then if it don't apply, let it fly. But people are making it applicable to their life. That's my thought process.
Well, I mean, if they,
yeah, that's interesting though.
But he's got nothing to do with my life at all. And that's why I said I will never debate what he says, because I don't care what he's saying. I care that he's presenting himself as if he's a qualified professional, and he's not. He's uneducated. He misrepresents data. He abuses women. He's cursing them out. Okay.
Let me ask you a question.
What he's saying, even today, you haven't heard me address anything he said. He's entitled to say all of it. They're entitled to hear it. But I want the message for these women to get is that he is not qualified. He's abusive. He gave one woman deadly advice to go back to an abusive husband. 3 women died.
Hey, why isn't he qualified?
3 women died.
Why isn't he qualified?
3 women die every day from domestic violence, and he sent a woman back to her abuser. That was his advice. He's not qualified. He's dangerous. That is why I made the video. He's dangerous. Don't listen to him.
Let me ask you a question, though.
But you know,
let me ask you a question, though. Let me ask you a question. Who is more dangerous, him or Tommy Sotomayor?
Kevin is more dangerous. Because
I don't know about that.
I don't agree with it.
He is. He's presenting himself as a professional, and he's giving deadly and high-risk behavior advice. The advice he's giving. Tommy, I ain't never heard Tommy tell nobody to go back to their abusive husband. I never heard him tell nobody to sleep with men on the 3rd date. High-risk sexual behavior. Not only could she take home Jack the Ripper, who could slit her throat on date 3. You don't know him. He's a stranger. He's telling you to get in bed and lay down with this man. You don't know him. He could go home to your house with you and slit your throat, and we never hear from you again. Besides pregnancy, besides STD, that he exposes them to all kind of danger if they listen to him. But the thing is that he looks like he's got credibility because of the way he's presenting, and he calls himself an advisor, you know, a counselor, whatever it is.
Let me say this again. Let me say this again now. I agree with you.
Incredible.
I agree with you saying, but that goes back to the people. Once again, why are these people following this man? What is wrong with these people who are sleeping with somebody on the 3rd date because of Kevin Samuel? I mean, damn, Kevin Samuel got some power. I'm telling you, if I got a sister and she called in Kevin Samuel's show and she said, should I sleep with a man on the 3rd day? And he said, yeah, and she go do it. I'd be like, you was a damn fool from the beginning, because you let this man tell you 3 days. I don't know about that. So it sounds like Kevin Samuel are exploiting dumbass people. That's what he's doing.
There's no accountability. There's no accountability.
Just
There's no
because you're dumb
accountability.
doesn't mean that you should have them abuse you and then give you lethal advice. You don't deserve that for being dumb, you know. But and
I'm
I
just
also want
like,
to
man,
speak
we
to
gotta get smart out here. These people, I'm gonna put it like this: people need to start educating themselves more. If you know Kevin, okay, I can look at a bunch of Kevin Samuel videos, and I know right then if I'm that damn stupid. And I'm gonna do something he tell me, I'm not gonna call in. But that's the case. If Kevin Samuels can manipulate you, somebody out on the street can manipulate you. So that means anybody can manipulate these weak ass people.
Mm-hmm. And then I wanted to speak to Mr. Tough Love brought up the gay accusation against Kevin Samuels. I don't know if he's gay. I don't care if he's gay. He can be gay, you know. But the thing is that gay men, there's a perception in the Black community that gay men hate Black women. And a lot of people are looking at his mannerisms, and some of them are effeminate, which could mean he said he was raised by a single mother. So, you know, and that could be just that he picked up from being around a single mother. I don't know if he's gay. I don't care if he's gay, but they're looking at his effeminate mannerisms and they're assuming, oh, he's gay because they think that gay men hate women. They're looking for a reason for why he hates women the way he does, why he speaks violently to them, why he would recommend you go back to a violent lifestyle. They're looking for a reason for why is he like this. And they're assuming, oh, maybe he's gay. So I can see him reaching there, but I wouldn't reach there.
Passionate Bliss, you said that. Did you say gay men hate Black women? Hate women?
Nope. I said there's a perception. There's a large perception in the Black female population that gay men hate Black women, that they are in competition with us. Now, I personally think a lot of them, not all, but a lot of them feel that they are better for Black men than Black women are. Now, that's my personal opinion. So
let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question though. This is my opinion. I see a lot of Black women hang around gay dudes, so I don't know about that. A lot of these Black women support these gay Black men, so I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. Maybe it's levels to it, but I see Black women supporting gay Black men all the time. They love them because they love talking to them. Gay Black men and Black women. The Black women support gay Black men. I see they love them. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah, they do. They do, but there is still a large portion who feel like a lot of Black gay men, I feel like in their mind, they're in competition with Black women. And I hear a lot of Black women say, and I've seen them on their platforms. There are women that feel like gay Black men don't like us. They're not our friends. You hanging out with them like they're your best Judy, or you're calling them your Judy, but they don't even like you. They're just trying to get the men that you hang around with, you know? And so there's a large, you know, that is a large perception that's there. And I've seen them on their platforms.
Okay, so let's be real quick. This is where the conversation gets a little bit tough. Again, I appreciate Manly Gossip for inviting me on, and shout out to all the other panelists and everybody in the chat room. This is where we turn a notch up. Ladies and gentlemen, I feel that anytime that you speak out against Black women to a certain degree, that you are going to be ridiculed. You are going to be looked from head to toe, front to back, and you're going to be put on a chopping block, unless you are uplifting Black women, unless you are overly uplifting Black women, which is the reason why Derek Jackson is so popular. Ace Metaphor is so popular. These men, the Kevin Samuels and Tommy Sotomayor's, again, a broken clock can be right twice a day. Not one time does anybody say, well, he's right about this. This message actually is spot on. Everything can't be wrong. So let's talk about it.
I agree. I don't think everything can be wrong either, though. I definitely agree that everything can't be wrong. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like that if people follow these type of guys, I mean, that's on them, though. But I understand what you're saying about Kevin Samuels professional, Tommy Sotomayor's not. Derek Jackson, he support the Black women. He support the Black women a lot. So, you know, anytime you uplifting Black women, people gonna support it. And I'm not saying people shouldn't uplift Black women.
We should
people like Tommy and Kevin Samuels, they are going against something. They are going against something people don't normally know. Like, I mean, the stuff they say is like, wow, I can't believe you saying that about a Black woman. I can't believe you saying that about a person, period. So that's why people kind of probably follow them, because they probably like, wow, they're saying stuff that people are scared to say. Derek Jackson, like, man, I'm just gonna agree with the women. I'm just gonna agree with them. He ain't gonna go against no Black woman because he know them Black women are making their money for him. Derek Jackson got a big following. He know not to go against Black women. He's smart too. Derek Jackson is very intelligent.
We're men and women on this panel. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have children, siblings, and you just happen to be older, you know if you tell that child that they are right all the time, then they're never going to know when they're wrong. So Derek Jackson's narrative is ridiculous. It's retarded. So if you have someone, and my thing about it, if you have the Derek Jacksons, you have to have the counter of Derek Jackson. Kevin Samuels and Tommy Sotomayor are the counter. And you have to find a counterbalance. You have to find what works for you. Like, you can be the most beautiful woman in the world, but you might have some ugly traits. You mean to tell me I'm only going to listen to people telling me I'm beautiful all the time, and not that I have a bad attitude, not that I need to fix my credit, not that I need to invest in both land and stocks? Come on now, let's be real. Let's be realistic.
And I will admit to the fact that I've only heard 4 of his videos, but I have never heard Kevin Samuels saying anything positive at all. I've only heard him attacking women and tell them what they're worthy of having and what they're not worthy of having. But I flat admit I've only watched 4 videos because those 4 were so nasty I couldn't watch anymore. Now Derek Jackson, I think I've listened to him maybe about 2 times. I don't need him either. The thing is that I wouldn't go to Kevin seeking advice because I don't need no advice from him. I wouldn't go to Derek Jackson seeking advice. I don't need any advice from him. I'm almost 50 years old. My personality is set. You know, I had a father my entire life. I always knew my worth, and I set boundaries for men. I've had men, matter of fact, and Kevin may be, particularly triggering for me because I don't like to be cursed at. I'm not going to be cursed at. And I have told more than one man, my daddy don't talk to me like that. You're not going to talk to me like that. And I've had them stop.
Let me ask you a question.
And so for Kevin to sit there and curse these women out and abuse them, I know they didn't have a daddy. I know they didn't have nobody to hug them and told them they were beautiful. They were smart. They were wonderful. You can do anything you want to do. I know they didn't have that, or they would not listen to Kevin for past 4 videos. I made myself watch 4. I didn't want to watch him past the second one. When I saw that's all. Let
me ask you a question though. Okay, we ain't got to the point that Tommy Sotomayor dangerous, Kevin Samuels dangerous. Could Derek Jackson be dangerous to a certain extent? Because if he's telling everybody what they want to hear and not the truth, Derek Jackson can be dangerous too. Because if you're telling this toxic person everything they want to hear that's good just because you want to support these women, then that ain't good either, because she walking around thinking, well, I'm perfect. You're perfect because Derek Jackson wants you to think you perfect because he wants you to follow him. He wants to make money as well. And I'm not saying Kevin Samuels, I don't agree with a lot of stuff Kevin Samuels say about this high value man stuff, but definitely I don't agree with Derek Jackson sitting up telling these women they right about everything. We're going to expose these players. At the same time, like when Steve Harvey made that book, he was bitter, so he made a book so he could help women expose men. I was like, what? It didn't make no sense to me. It was just about money. People are so stupid. Steve Harvey made that book to expose men to help women because he knew he was going to make a killing. He knew black women was going to follow him. So he like, well, let me think about this. Black women are going to follow me. So let me go on and give them the recipe to what men are doing. I mean, it was smart. It was just so intelligent. Steve Harvey been, look how many times Steve Harvey been married. Steve Harvey been divorced too. People still follow Steve Harvey. He been divorced too. He ain't no better than Kevin Samuels, but he made this recipe for money. And black women fell for it and they went for it. And then it hurt the black men too. Like, he didn't care. He like, man, I'm willing to risk putting out what we do in the game just to get these black women's money. That was smart, man. I'm telling you, man, Derek Jackson ain't dangerous, but at the same time, what he's saying could be dangerous to the wrong people because you can't be told you right all the time. You can't be told you always right, though. That's not good.
Does Derek Jackson have women call into his show? I didn't see it. I watched him 2 times.
Derek Jackson gives advice, though.
Does he have women call into his show that he abuses? Because Kevin has women call into his show and he abuses them. Okay, so that would be a difference. Okay.
When you talk about abuse, are you talking about a level of aggression? Or are you talking about straight getting cursed out?
Oh, let me tell you what I'm telling you. This is what I call as abuse. Ma'am, you're a bust down. That's abusive. Ma'am, you are a fucking train wreck. That's abusive. Ma'am, you're gonna die alone. Think of you frauds calling in here. This is also abusive. Get the fuck off my phone. And when somebody's telling, oh, I'm a size 18, he playing the hump W. That's abusive. That's abusive. That's what I consider abusive. How about you? You think that's abusive?
Okay, I think that is very aggressive, and I think that there is no need for certain types of language in a setting. However, this is what I think. I think if I go to McDonald's, right, and I demand a Whopper from McDonald's, that is nonsense. People are going to a platform where they know a man speaks a certain type of way, but they're steadily calling in. That is retarded. So if those people are calling in knowing the type of verbiage or language or whatever it is going to be presented on that platform, then that is on them. So it's not for me to tell people, well, he's wrong because they're calling into his show. No, if you want to go there and go to McDonald's and demand demand a Whopper, then you go there. However, it's absurd, it's crazy, but I'm not going to hold McDonald's responsible because somebody walked in McDonald's and demanded a Whopper. We're looking from the outside saying how bad the person sitting in the seat is. However, we're not talking about the people that go to the place to talk to the man in the seat. Let's hold everybody equally responsible. And I'm telling you, this conversation, it expands a little bit more.
So they deserve the abuse.
I didn't say they deserve it. Wait, hold on, passionate, hold on. I didn't say they deserve anything. I said you get what it is you seek. If you go there, then you know 9 times out of 10 these people are not saying I'm just calling in for the first time and I never heard of you. They've heard of him. They understand the rhetoric. They know the narrative, and they know, hey, this thing could go left real quick. If I go into the hood and I'm expecting everything to be blossoming butterflies, or am I going there scrap? Now that might be over your head, but the fact of the matter is I'm gonna prepare for what it is I'm seeking out. And if they're seeking out to talk to this man, they want advice, they want some type of encouragement, they want some type of common sense denominator, whatever it is that they want. That's on them. That's those grown people doing it. Now, if he was talking to kids like that, then it'd be a total different situation. But these are grown people who forget sleeping with them after 3 days. People are sleeping with them the same night. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what he's telling them. You tell them whatever you want to tell them. If they're listening, that's on them. And I understand that these men hold no relevance in your life because you're so past a certain level. You have a certain knowledge and self-respect. And that is great. That is awesome. I just think that if we're going to bring down Kevin Samuels, or if it's a thought process of bringing down anyone, let's tear the whole damn thing down, because it's a lot of people giving out bad advice.
I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree.
And that goes back to my point of saying is that I don't care about his platform and what he does and how much he charges and all that. That's got nothing to do with me. I felt like there was a dangerous predator. When you move into a neighborhood and you are a pedophile, they require that you register so that the neighborhood knows that there's somebody freaky deaky in the neighborhood. So I feel like my video is saying, hey y'all, there's somebody that's dangerous in the neighborhood. Do not listen to him.
I need to see your video. I want to see your video.
Let me ask you a question. You're right. You get into the black community, and say it's a predator in the black community. I've been around a bunch of black people. You got these dudes who out here messing with women who are under the age of 18. At the same time, people are not stepping up saying anything. So at the same time, you expose them, and I'm not saying nothing's wrong with that, but are people doing that all the time? Is everybody out here to expose the predators? Some people don't care. They overlook it. They don't care. There's a lot of predators out here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the thing is, and I feel like my personal platform and my agenda addresses the problem at its root. The root is that we're not a cohesive community anymore, the way we used to be. The parents are not together, which 72%, and that statistic has not been refuted, despite what you've been told. Our children are growing up in a single parent household. And so they don't have a dad there modeling. So they might listen to a Kevin Samuels because they don't have a dad there. They don't know what the dad's will tell you. Their dad didn't tell you, because my daddy specifically told me, and I was under the age of 10, when he said you can tell how much respect a woman has for herself by how she lets a man talk to him. I was under the age of 10. Everybody didn't have that man in their house telling them that, or they would not call into Kevin Samuels. They would not listen to his show. But so the fact is that I can't pretend like everybody had a great dad that I had. He's amazing, okay? So everybody said so. So he's a minister, but everybody didn't have that. And so I can't ignore the fact that there are little girls who didn't have their daddy, who didn't get a hug, who wasn't told, you don't let nobody talk to you like that. You set your value. This is your value, and nobody did that for them. So Kevin can come around and they'll call into him because they don't have a daddy to tell them, don't listen to this fool. Look at how he's talking, So
let me ask you a question, Passionate Bliss.
Is to say, don't listen.
I got a question. You saying that these families didn't have a father. What about the families where the daughters watched their father bash the mother? I got family members
Yeah.
where they
They'll call
watched their
Kevin.
father. I seen family members where the father was there and they watched their father destroy their mother. What about those type of families too? Because a lot of it is women out here with men in their family, but I've watched the men dominate the women in front of their children. Their children grow up believing that, oh, my father dominated my mama, so that's how I'm supposed to treat women. So all these women ain't out here fatherless. Some of them watch their father destroy their mother. So I mean, it can go either way though.
Yeah, hey,
Those
but it
women
ain't
will never
always
call
like
Kevin
that though.
either. Those
No,
women
it's
will
not
never
always
call
like
Kevin
that.
either. Because those women will never call Kevin at all. Because their daddy already taught them you don't deserve a six-figure man. Their daddy already taught them that. So they're gonna have a low life already. Because that's what, unless they go to the opposite extreme, I'll never get a man like my daddy. That they can go to one extreme or the other. They ain't gonna never call Kevin because they got a deadbeat already whipping her behind because that's normal to her. That's what happens. So she ain't gonna call Kevin. She already got a man beating her behind. He work at
So let me ask you a question. So you saying the only people calling in the Kevin Samuels show is fatherless women? I don't believe that. I
Yes.
don't believe every woman calling in. All of them are fatherless women. I don't know about that. I don't agree. I don't know about that
I believe so. I believe
one.
it.
Only fatherless women.
You can't have a healthy
Wow.
relationship. There's certain type of people, they don't have healthy relationship with their father. I'm here to tell you. Any woman that's on a pole and is a stripper, she don't have a good relationship with her father. Because any father,
All right, another question.
dead in his grave,
Let me ask you a
won't let
question.
his daughter get on the pole.
All right.
So that's
Let me ask you a
something that's a
question.
fact that I don't have to see the data.
Let me ask you a question. So what about the men that call in to Kevin Samuels? Are they motherless men? Fatherless men? What about the men who's seeking him? What is their issues?
They're incels.
I want to know what these men. Something wrong with these men, and they must ain't got no father figure either. Because ain't no real man calling in. Ain't no real man calling in though.
I'm here to tell you, this right here is a rumor with no regard. I'm getting ready to tell you a rumor with no regard. I believe that Kevin Samuels hates his mother for the life choices that she made, and he blames women because he grew up in poverty. Now that's my assumption, because what you don't say is just as loud as what you do say. And he says that his mother has 10 children and had no husband and didn't get married to the age of 50. So what I hear on the opposite side of that, a little boy grew up in a house with 10 siblings. The money ain't going that far if you ain't got no daddy, and your mama ain't making big bucks. So he grew up in poverty. And I can tell by some of the things he does on his shoulder, that's a poverty background. He grew up in poverty. He hated his mother because he didn't have a father in the house. He hated his mother for being poor. He hated her, and that's why he grew up wanting the best clothes. And that's why money means so much to him, because he grew up without it. Now, that's
Can I say something to you, Queen?
That's me drawing
Can I
conclusions.
say
I'm
something to
straight
you?
up drawing conclusions.
Can I say something to you?
His response is born out of poverty, and the people who follow him, they came up the same way.
Okay, so here's my thought process. First of all, I love your smile, I like your energy, and I don't want you to take this the wrong way. Okay, I came out of poverty. Okay, I came out of poverty. I came out of a single parent home. Mother was strung out on drugs, actually died of HIV. I went through foster homes, juvenile detention centers, but I'm also a 20-year veteran, Army veteran, warrant officer, logistics officer. I'm also a person that holds 2 master's degrees. I'm also a person that lives in a 5-bedroom house. So, and I'm also a person that dresses a certain type of way. So when you say, someone can't manifest into something better, or someone now can't sit in front of someone else and give them advice, I got to push back on that. Of course you want to do better. Of course you want to be the opposite of the trial and tribulations that you went through. So I don't know if that should be a part of the conversation, because just because you had a good life growing up, and kudos to you, but I also understand that a lot of people, they don't get. And it's not even about a silver spoon, because I think everyone deserves a good life. Everyone deserves parents. Everyone deserves someone to care for them. But unfortunately, everyone is not in a position to pick their parents. You know what I'm saying? So it's great that you had an awesome dad. You know what I'm saying? It's great that he provided the nurturement and the development that you received to make you an incredible woman. However, there are people out here that still need guidance. There are people out here that are being misled through foolishness. Now, if you're calling people out on their foolishness, I applaud you. However, there are a lot of people that are joining the fight that says, I'm going to call people out on foolishness, and they are shooting themselves in the foot based on what they want to add to the argument. Debunk the message and not the messenger. That's what I feel.
No, no, and that's why that's where we have to agree to disagree. Then because I don't feel that I should have checked his message, because his message is for him. It's his. And if he feels that way, then he has a right to feel that way. And but my issue is that you cannot speak. You can't tell these women you'll die alone. And you can't tell these women, they don't want you, because it's not true. Because he doesn't know them all. He does not speak to them all. He's speaking in totality. He doesn't leave any room for exception to the rule, guys. He speaks in totalities, and he speaks in finite. It's the final last word. They don't want you. You're gonna die alone. And then after he berates them, of course. And so to me, he can't speak for those men. He can't say that. He can only say what I want. I don't want you. And my 10 buddies, we don't want you. That's all he can say. But he goes beyond that. He should be, if he's a counselor, he's an advisor, he should be talking about what your clothes look like, what you need to wear to go to the party with these 6-figure men. But he goes beyond that. He uses data that's unrelated to elevate his opinion above the status of opinion. Said it's facts. I'm quoting the facts. Yeah, they're facts, but they don't relate to what you said, which I cover in my video. But and so because he misleads people with his information, dress it up and calls it facts. And I even said on my video, every time I get into it with one of his supporters about the facts are either not true, they're not two separate things they're talking about, and there's no weight beneath it. And he's just a puffed up, display. And he's a clown show, smoke and mirrors, razzle dazzle, there's nothing solid beneath what he's saying, but he presents it, and that's fine. That's fine. But I don't like the abuse. I don't like him trying to represent people, and I don't like him being unqualified and giving dangerous advice. So that's my issue with it. I would never, if he like I'll go and say, okay, he said you should be thin. If you're, to him, high value is you have to be thin, you have to be in shape. I never said I disagree with that. What else does he say that women have to not have kids? These men don't want you with kids. Truth be told, I don't want to date a man with kids, with small kids. But I've never refuted what he's saying, because that's his opinion. He's entitled to it, but he's not a professional. These aren't educated statements that he's making. These aren't facts that he's making, but he gives the impression that they are, and that's why I feel like I need to warn. And so,
let me ask you a question though.
I'm definitely.
Let me ask you a question though.
But the thing is, Mr. Tough Love, wait a minute, that you didn't carry away from your experience of growing up that way. You didn't, as far as I can tell, you didn't carry the hatred away with you. You don't show a resentment, an open hatred and resentment for women. I'm not, to my knowledge, I don't know if you abuse women or not when you speak, but to me, you didn't carry that away for whatever reason, but he did, and so to me, that's just me. Instead of me calling him gay, I'm just guessing that's why he hates women, because he grew up in poverty. And because he's speaking from a poverty mentality, it's poverty speaking to you when you hear him, because money is the most important thing. He's telling you to make your life decisions, who you're going to marry, who you have children with, who, how you live your life. He's telling you to base it on money. So that to me is a poverty mindset. I hear poverty in it, because people who had money, and I'm not saying I was ever wealthy. I grew up middle class. I've always been middle class. I went to college. I'm middle class. So, but people who always had money, they don't make decisions based off of dollar bills and dollar signs. People who had enough, they don't make poverty-based decisions. And I feel like these women who are calling in, they're also poverty. I think they're desperate, because I think they also come from a background of poverty, but they for some reason don't want to look within themselves to develop themselves, to take care of yourself. After that, your choices are a lot different. Like personally, everybody that I've ever dated and even married was in the same income class as I was. We were all middle class. We were all there. Many of them 6-figure earners. 6 figures is not that hard to make, especially if you're in the right field. So the thing is that if you're able to take care of yourself and provide yourself the things you want, you're not looking for that. So I feel like these women are not able to take care of themselves. For one, they're young. 2, they're simple-minded, because they're calling Kevin. They can't see he's abusive. They can't see he's abusive, and they're taking his advice and and acting like he's the godfather.
Hey, check this out though. What makes are you qualified to give advice?
I'm not advising.
I'm just saying. But you said you was gonna call in. You said you was gonna give them girls advice.
I didn't. I said I was gonna warn them. I'm warning them that there's an imposter in their midst. There's a predator.
Let me ask you a question, Passionate Bliss. I'm not agreeing with nothing you said, and I do believe he's a scam artist, but I just can't get past the fact that he's a mastermind too, because he has found a way to get all these women to follow him. Just like we talk about Tommy Sotomayor. Guess who Tommy Sotomayor's biggest supporters are? black women. He bashes black women all the time, but Tommy Sotomayor's biggest supporters are black women. And I guarantee you Kevin Samuels' supporters are black women too. That is kind of disturbing that he does this disgusting stuff on a regular basis on his show and black women are supporting it. So you can't tell me all these black women are fatherless or they're poor. A lot of these black women, because I mean, I see him on there with women who got money. Like he was on there with some woman from some kind of show. It's just that he knows how to get people to follow him, just like Tommy. They are masterminds of this stuff. But at the same time, they are con artists. But damn, I mean, like, but why are we seeing through it and these people are not? Something is wrong with these people. Because all these people ain't poor. All these people ain't fatherless.
I don't believe. I'm gonna say this, and I'm probably gonna push back against the host. And again, respectfully, I don't believe that Kevin Samuels or Tommy Sotomayor is con artists. I'm not conning you for if I put my Cash App up and you send me money, then that's you sending me money. Even if I ask for listen to me. Listen to me. No. I'm not going in your pockets. I'm not robbing you. You're sending me money freely. So when we're throwing these like passionate is saying, oh well, it's verbally abusive. Or it's abuse if you do this, this, and this, and this. Well, I seen mothers talk to their children in Walmart or in McDonald's when they acting up. You better sit your ass down and blah 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 blah. That's abuse. So if am I to say that mother is abusive, or am I saying that mother is using assertive language to drive a point home? Like I'm not playing. Don't play with me. This is what it is. And I think that we use certain words to amplify the situation. Like when we start saying men are abusive, that's another word that's being slung around. That's another word. I think women are more verbally abusive than men in most cases. Now, physically, I think men lead the pack, but I think verbally, women lead the pack. You think about some of these songs that you hear in the WAP videos and all this other stuff. Women are definitely vulgar, definitely speak with a certain level of authority. So a lot of people only, you ever heard someone say, I can only give a briefing to the people that want to hear the message. So if I'm going into the hood, I'm probably not going to speak a certain type of way. I'm going to speak that so the message can be related and people can understand what it is that I'm saying. And I think that people are getting confused, like Kevin Samuels need to speak like this. Well, he doesn't have to speak polite because everybody doesn't need that type of message. Some people need to say, get your ass up and get moving, or you full of shit. Some people need to hear that type of message. So when he's delivering that type of message, if that's not the message for you and that's not what resonates for you, that doesn't mean he's abusive. That doesn't mean he's a con artist. And I've kind of taken back at the fact that we're using these words to identify these people when we've only seen 3 or 4 videos and we're saying, okay, that's what it is. We have to do our full research and do our due diligence in order to actually get the entire conversation. That's my thought process.
I agree. I'm not really saying that they're con artists. I've heard Kevin Samuels a con artist. Definitely, if you put your cash out, if that's the case, I'm a con artist too if somebody give me some money. But if you put your cash out up there and they give you money, you're not a con. But at the same time, with Kevin Samuels, I'm saying that people are saying he's a con before how like he's dealt with people off of YouTube. It's his consulting stuff, how he's got. But at the same time, I agree with you, Tough Love. If somebody get his mother $10,000 to help them and they take, I don't know if he no con, then you might be right. He might not be a con because you don't have to get a man his money. He ain't taking it out your pocket. So I agree. I don't know if they cons either, but we got some stupid people out here.
I agree with the stupid people. I agree with that.
I think he's a con artist because of the way he misrepresents data. That's why I think he's a con artist. But I definitely think he's abusive. Abusive speech is abusive speech. So I don't care if it's your mom who says to you, sit your ass down. That's abusive speech. So, that is, it's vulgar speech. Against that, I like to make the comparison. Would you go to your boss and say, would you go into a meeting in a conference room and say, okay, everybody sit their ass down at a chair? No, because it's inappropriate. It's abusive speech. It's abusive speech.
Passionate Bliss, let me ask you a question.
And if they do, that's fine. If you want to say sit your ass down, then that's fine. But you're just an abusive speaker as a mom. That's all that means.
Let me ask you a question. Then. What do you think about somebody like Donald Trump in comparison to Barack Obama? Donald Trump say anything, he speak anywhere, he talks over you. They kind of just like him. They talk over people. Donald Trump will say anything. People hate Donald Trump because he would tell you the truth. I'm not saying I'm gonna follow Donald Trump, but some people need to hear Donald Trump because he will tell you the truth. Then you got somebody like Barack Obama. He'll tell you the truth too, but he'll support some, like Barack Obama supported gays so he could get votes. So it's kind of like Derrick Jackson gonna support women so he can get this money. Kevin Samuels like, I ain't gotta support these black women. I'm still gonna get my money. Thomas Sotomayor like, I ain't gotta support nobody. I'm still gonna get my money. So it just depends on what kind of person you dealing with. Cause look, Donald Trump, he was for himself, and look, he still won president just because he had these silly ass people who followed him. So them type of people know how to get people to follow them. They are masterminds. And I'm not saying they're right, and I'm not saying Kevin Samuels ain't tricking people, but I'm like, damn, why he ain't tricking us? How in the hell he can't trick us for, but he can trick all these 500,000 people? That is very, very sad that these many people can be tricked by one man. I'm like, come on now, common sense. I know people out here who ain't got a GED and Kevin Samuels can't trick them. So
yeah. And the thing is that his numbers and his following, same as Tommy's, most of it is the fact that people like to see a train wreck. People will slow down. If there's a car wreck on the highway, people will slow down, driving slow, and doing their best to look and see how bad the accident is. People like a sideshow. They went to the circus to see the fat lady with the hair, the bearded lady, because they like a freak carnival sideshow, and that's a large part of their attraction.
Let me ask you a question, Pastor. Let me ask you a question. If you tend to talk with the narrative of you are not the people that they address or talk about. So what is the passion behind you speaking out about them?
As a warning, because he as a whole is damaging. Number one, he has a defeatist attitude. And one of the things I hate, because he's teaching you to be a defeatist. He's going to tell you, you look this way, you look that way, you're no good. They don't want you. Go find somebody else. That is a defeatist attitude, and that's one of the prevalent reasons why Black people don't succeed the way we should. It's because we quit before we even show up. We don't even show up to play the game. So of course we can't win. He's telling these women don't even show up. His defeatist attitude is one of the ugliest things that why I don't like what he's saying. Now that's the only thing I will speak to what he's saying, his opinions. I don't like his opinions because it's defeatist. Nobody, no man, no woman can tell me what I can't do. I will do exactly what I want. You know how many times I have succeeded because somebody told me I couldn't, and I said, I'll show you. And that's what those women should be saying when Kevin Samuels tells them, you're not good enough, you're not small enough, you're not cute enough, you're not, whatever enough. They should be saying that, first of all, they wouldn't call in if they didn't have a defeatist attitude already. Okay. And
let me ask you a question.
Defeatist attitude. And so that's
let me ask you a question.
That's what I hate about his opinion.
Let me ask you a question. This is like when that dude called in and he said, you overweight. And he asked him how big his dick was. And he said, you don't even got a big dick. You overweight. Why should a woman come to you? He was wrong for that. But that dude's stupid if he followed that. You tell me if I call in on his show and I say, Kevin Samuel, he said, how tall are you? I'm 5'8". He said, how much you weigh? I say 180. And he said, well, you can't get no woman. I'm going to be like, you're right. I'm going to look at him. I'm going to be like, yo, bro, I don't care what you say. But at the same time, if these women are letting him change how they think, something is wrong, just like these men. Because at the end of the day, just because he said you overweight and you don't got this and you don't got that, you don't make enough money, that should be no reason to believe you can't get a woman. I know dudes out here walking. I know dudes out here who ain't got nothing and they getting a woman. I know women out here who getting men. I mean, it just depends on the person. These people are weak-minded. And I mean, I don't know how many times I can say it, though.
If they would listen to him saying, you ain't got no job, you ain't got no car, you ain't got no shoes on your feet, don't talk to no woman. If they listen to him, they wouldn't have nobody. But I see losers come out of, like you said, come out of prison and get good women with good jobs, and they bankroll him. But yeah, but he listen to somebody like Kevin telling him, don't show up. They don't want you. Don't show up.
Listen. Don't show up. Don't show up. If you ain't got no job, if you ain't got no place to stay, if you ain't working on your credit, don't show up. The realism of it is nobody wants you. You may find someone, but no one's seeking you out. You may stumble across someone because you got a great personality. You may stumble across someone because you was out at the club and y'all was drinking and taking shots and they overlooked all of that other stuff. But the realism of it is no one's checking for you. So if someone comes to you sober, right? In full mind, mind and body, and says, you know what? The realism of it is society will not promote you. You have to promote yourself. So you need to get things that people hold of value. Guess what? A place to stay, a stable job, you being an entrepreneur. What is your credit score? If you don't have those things, then the conversation is going to be short. And guess what? His conversation is going to be short to the point. Some people may take offense to that. Well, that doesn't mean what he's saying is wrong. That just means that you didn't like what he was saying because you're not where you need to be. And a lot of people are not where they need to be in life. So just because your grandma ain't telling it to you, your mama ain't telling it to you, your big homie, your OG ain't telling it to you, now you're seeking out guidance. And I applaud anyone to seek out a higher learning. You won't learn some things in college. You won't learn some things working on your PhD. Some things you're going to have to seek guidance for. And if that's the guidance you feel you need to seek to better your life, then Gabe, do you.
Well, my experience, I was taught that in life you make your own opportunities. They're not, because I'm black, I'm female, I'm from the South. They wasn't trying to see me in that conference room. But guess what? I did in that conference room. And I had people say, oh, you're never gonna be a director. You're never gonna get, go up that far in corporate. And I said, okay, what that means is I'm not gonna go that far at your company. So that means I need to go to another company. And by the time I got to a certain level in corporate, I didn't want to go up anymore. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna start my own business. So I did that. But I still got my degree and my job, but I also got a business. So you can make your own, you can make your own opportunities. You can make your own outcome. So Kevin telling you not to show up is inappropriate. I think that's detrimental to our community, because he's telling people, and the thing is that you don't, like I was telling, Manly the other night on our, when we collab, you don't, those things that what he's saying, attraction is impacted by so many things. Is she charming? Does she have a great smile? Does her face light up when she talks? I'm standing next to you. You made a joke. You thought I was funny. And you're like, oh, she's kind of cute. So you don't know what can impact. He might think, well, you know what? I'm just going to go to the gym with me. Or I'm going to see, or, she might think, okay, we got a beer belly. Really? He'll make that much. That's okay. I make enough, And so the thing, and like a lot of those women, when he's talking to them and they'll say, okay, well, maybe he can make 80,000. Maybe I'll be so because the fact of the matter is when they're willing to go down, because I've seen several of them do it, they're willing to go down in the price of what they're saying they want. The fact is that they didn't really need the six figures. That really wasn't what they wanted. What they wanted was the security that six figure represents. But the thing is that you can have that security. It doesn't have to be 100,000. Minimum. Middle class starts at 45,000 currently. I think a lot of them, because they were going down and down and down, which proves that they didn't necessarily want that six figure. What they wanted was the security that it represents. And
let me ask you a question. Passionate Bliss, let me ask you a question. Since you say he a con artist, so a dude getting out of prison ain't got nothing, and he's able to get a woman with a $80,000 yearly job, a car, a place, and she wants to be with him. Ain't he a con artist too? Because at the end of the day, you coming out of prison, how in the world are you able to get a woman with $80,000 a year, a house, a car, and she taking care of you? He a con artist too. That means he's smart too. I'm not saying, he gotta be some con. I know some dudes getting out of prison, man. They getting women, and some of them, and usually when these dudes get out of prison, they get women with low self-esteem. Just because you got money and all this stuff don't mean you don't got low self-esteem. So these people like Kevin Samuels just are intelligent and they know how to prey on the weak. They're just like somebody getting out of prison. He preying on the weak. Kevin Samuel has mastered preying on the weak, just like Tommy Sotomayor. That's why they are so successful. Donald Trump preyed on the weak. He preyed on people. Like Martin Luther King wasn't trying to hurt us, but he could have preyed on the weak too, but he was trying to prove a point. These people are so smart and intelligent, and they have so much charisma that they can prey on the weak, and that's Kevin Samuels for you.
And I like you bringing up Martin Luther King, because and because that kind of negates Kevin's position that these men don't want you. They're not checking for you. They're not looking for you. Well, guess what? They didn't want us in the front of the bus either. They didn't want us coming inside and eating at the lunch counter with them either. But guess what? We decided to show up, and we figured out how to hurt them so that they would let us in there. And we crippled the transit, system in that town. To the transit system was saying, hey, let's get them black people back on the bus. Okay, they want to sit up front. They can sit up front. Because the thing is that they found a way to get to the front of the bus because that's what they wanted to do. They created that for themselves. I don't care who helped them, who gave them the idea, but they did that themselves because at one point, that's the way it is was Jim Crow. That's the way it is with segregation. That's the way it is with all these institutions that people have shown that if you systematically knock it down and if you keep coming back and you keep showing up and you figure out how to do it, you can make your own opportunity. And Kevin is telling them that they can't. The only thing that Kevin has over them is access to six-figure men because they're not. That's why I said they're not that. They're mostly poor. I think because women who have access to six-figure men, like I said, most of my friends, college graduates, they're six figures and more. I can make six figures. That's not hard to make. Anybody can make six figures. But the thing is that I'm around them all the time, which is why I know Kevin does not speak for them. He does not represent them. The men that I'm around, that I'm in college with, that I've met throughout the years, their wives are funny and they're cute and they're all different shapes and sizes. But the thing is that they like those women because one of them, they're go-getters, they're business starters. Those women are assets to them. So Kevin does not represent them. He's representing a class of men that I don't even believe he belongs to because the way he talks, I know he doesn't speak for them. He does not speak for them. They mostly want a wife that's either they're equal or better. That's what those men want. But Kevin is talking about, he's talking about the Donald Trumps. He's talking about the Jay-Z's, but he's not on that level. He rates himself as a 9. This man makes no more than $380,000 according to the last article I read, which he provided data for. That's all he makes, $380,000.
Hey, why you checking in men's pockets for?
He's not no 10 because I look. Because that's one thing is that I'm not like these people that call into his show. You have to have credentials if I'm going to give you my trust and my money. You have to be qualified. You have to be educated if I'm going to put my faith in you and say I'm going to make a decision based off of what you're telling me.
Hey, you can't check on men's pockets.
I'm going to check your background. Because he claimed because his platform says I'm a six-figure
man. Does it matter? Hey, does it matter whether he make 100,000 or $1 million a year? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it just shows that he doesn't hold himself to his own standards. He's saying I'm a 9. How are you a 9 if Jay-Z is a 10? You're not making Jay-Z money, okay? He make it less than $300-something thousand. That's easy to make if you got a college education in the right field. That's not hard to make. So how are you a 10? How are you a 9?
I'm gonna disagree with that. $300,000, you ain't easy to make. That's the K everybody be making. That's a lot of money right there. If you're making $300,000 a year, I give you salute because there's a lot of people out here who educated. It ain't making no $300,000 a year. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It takes something.
I said if you're in the right field. Now you can get into a nothing field and have a degree and don't make nothing. But you're in the right.
Let me ask you a question. How many people gonna get into that field? How many people are gonna get into that type of field? That's why I had a problem with Kevin Samuels talking about a high value man makes $200,000 a year. I'm like, no, bro. Because you could be a high value man and not make that kind of money. I mean, you're right.
He said 150,000 a year.
It depends on what you value.
$150,000 is a lot of money. Let me ask you a question though. It's people out here trying their hardest to make this money and they can't do it. Everybody's not gonna make that kind of money. So I don't agree with him when he's trying to tell people they gotta be like that. It's dudes out here making $14 an hour and they getting everything they want. I mean, it's gonna be levels to this stuff. Just like it's levels. It's people got to get in where they fit in. And then some people who are going to be masterminds and they can get women making $300,000. At the end of the day, I feel like this with a woman. A woman I see men like they make a lot of money. They see a beautiful woman. She ain't got to bring nothing to the table. But if a woman got something going and she see a man, she not going to date that man if he ain't bringing something to the table most of the time. He going to have game and swag and he going to have to be bringing something to the table. And there's dudes out here who have nothing that can get women with a lot of money, but they better be bringing that A game. I see women out here who don't bring them but looks, breast, and booty. And they get men making all this money just because of their looks. And it don't go like that for men.
Hey, for the simps, a simp will fall for that.
Yeah. The six-figure
men,
that's not what six-figure men want. Because I'm telling you, because he'll tell you, any, all of my friends are they're all that way. Because for us, it's not that hard to do. The fields we went into, it's not that hard to do. And so I've made 6 figures before. I depend on how much I feel like working. But it's not hard to do. And so the thing is that I know what 6-figure men want. They're not Donald Trump. They're not Jay-Z. Donald Trump and Jay-Z, that's all he care about. He don't care how much money she run through. 6 figures, yeah, you know what? You got a big old house to pay for. You got a big fancy car to pay for. She got a fancy car. That 6 figures does not go that far, especially because Kevin, I'm gonna top it off at Kevin's value, $380,000. Okay. At $380,000, it's not going that far. She can't spend and shop with so much. Because he got that big car to pay for. He got that big house to pay for. He got all her nice clothes to pay for. He got his nice clothes to pay for. He got vacations to pay for. So that money ain't going that far. Not in the three figures, not no 380,000. Maybe that's why them two women left him. You know, it's not going that
Let me
far.
ask you a question though.
Hey, see, you making assumptions right there. You saying that's why the women left him. You making assumptions. You don't know that.
Those women left him because that 6 figures wasn't enough to make them stay and put up what they were putting up with.
Yeah, but I'm saying you saying they left because but you don't know why they left him though.
Yeah, because that money was and it's not enough. Now Donald Trump got money. Melania, it's clear.
Hey, but you making assumptions. You don't know that. You don't know if that's true or not.
Melania Trump hates Donald Trump. Anybody can look at their body language and see that lady hate that man, but she stays with him because he's just that rich. Okay, Kevin Samuels ain't that rich. Now, when no women started hating him, they left. And he said out his own mouth, they left me. I didn't divorce them. They divorced me. Okay, the women left him because that 6 figures wasn't enough to stay. Now,
damn. So you telling me
that's an assumption right there. You don't even know that's true.
I do.
Let me ask you a question. So you telling me these women left? You saying these women? So you telling me these women left? You saying these women? So Passionate Bliss, you saying these women left him because he won't make enough money? So you saying $300,000 a year ain't enough?
They left him. I said they left him because that 6 figures was not enough to make them stay.
Damn, what kind of women are these though? Wow.
Donald Trump is a despicable human being.
Hey, you don't even know that's true or not. You just coming up with some shit though. You don't even know that's true. They could have left him because he cheated anything.
Because they left him, he didn't leave them.
Hey man, you got people backstage, man. Can you bring them on?
If that money had been enough,
yeah, I can bring them on.
If Kevin had Donald Trump money, them heifers would have been right there. The first one would have never left. She'd still be there. That 6 figures ain't that long. It don't go that long. It just don't. Because I'm here to tell you, that's my world. That's my world, 6 figures.
Hey everybody,
I'm telling you.
We got Amber Hardy. We got Amber Hardy and MoneyBoy Trey on here. What y'all got to say about this conversation?
I just want to say two things. It's amazing how Passionate Bliss said that Kevin Samuels can't speak for all men, but then she turned around and said, I know what high value women want. So she speaks for all high value women, but he can't speak for high value men. And the second thing I want to say is, I am shocked and appalled that I just heard a woman brag that she knows women who are willing to accept ex-cons. Is that where the bar is set now for high value black women? We accept ex-cons now, and that's a bragging point. That's something we say publicly. I know girlfriends who got niggas that just came out of jail. That's something we're bragging on now.
I didn't say that.
You did say that.
I said I know women who do that. I don't have no friends. None of my friends.
Manly gossip. Didn't you just ask her? Did you not ask her? And the people coming out of jail talking to these women con man too?
Yeah, I
asked her that because she brought it up because she said she knows men coming out of jail dating high value women. That's what you said, ma'am.
First of all, Manly Gossip said that, and I admitted that is true. I do know that happens, but I don't know them. That happens, but I don't know them. I didn't bring that up. They did.
Amber Hardy, you got anything to say?
I have a few questions. I'll put it that way. So, not to say that I'm discrediting or disagreeing with everything you're saying, Passionate Bliss, but I would like to know what exactly is your credentials and your professional background before I continue further with what I have to say. Because I like to know facts before I make any statement based off my own opinion.
I am an entrepreneur. My online store is mypassionatebliss.myshopify.com. Please go there, buy a black t-shirt, which I did not design.
But what did you go to school for?
Oh, I'm a registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse for 23 years. I'm a certified legal nurse consultant. And I'm also and currently, well, I'm enrolled actually. I'm enrolled actually in 2 different certification programs right now. But
and what would those be?
I'll be a certified. But let's see what I get done. I'll be a certified relationship coach, and I'll be a certified life coach. I'm in 2 programs right now. But that's not what my channel's about. I'm not off.
No. I just wanted to ask. I just wanted to ask that specifically. Because you said, Kevin Samuels doesn't have the credentials to be giving people advice and everything. Right. But you don't have credentials either. And although you do speak, you're sitting here speaking how women need a warning on these type of men or certain aspects. The way that I feel about it is any of us doing these podcasts without the proper credentials, what it all boils down to is our own life experiences that we're able to give advice on and the lessons that we learn through them, and as well as I guess like our own opinions and feelings off of it, and those who are either like-minded or who are seeking some sort of outside of the box from their norm advice.
Okay.
So that's probably why people seek to Kevin Samuels, because Kevin Samuels may not think like them, but they want to get a different opinion from somebody outside of what fits their narrative. And some people can't handle that when they go to other people.
Okay. So I certainly expect everybody's right to their opinion and their thoughts, and that's fine. But I'm not sure how long you were here, Amber. And what I've said was, first of all, I've never said that I'm a counselor. I never said I was counseling anybody.
No, I never said you said that either. But what I'm saying is, you're sitting here giving advice, what you're saying. Let me finish. Whenever we are on platforms like this, and whatever it is, our opinion is, and our thoughts, and the facts that we're able to compose and put together our thoughts to express to other people are influenced by that. So you may not be deliberately giving somebody advice, but in a sense, you are giving them an outlook and a different way of thinking.
Yeah, if you're warning somebody, you're giving them advice if you're warning them.
Exactly.
There's no way around that.
Because it is your opinion to warn somebody.
Did you actually watch my video? No.
I heard what you said, though.
On Samuels, you'll see, if you watch my video, the one where I said it's scandalous people, Kevin Samuels, predator or visionary. If you watch that video, I asked questions. I said, this is who Kevin is. This is what his platform is. And I said, these are examples of him talking to the women. And at the end of the video, I said, what do you think? That's all. I didn't give my opinion. Now,
but today on this show, you said that you said you were warning people about him, though. So that's giving them advice.
No, it's just a warning. Because if you look at the
video, is a warning is a warning not advice?
If I tell you, hey, I'm warning you, don't go to this guy over here. It is based off of the things that you have seen, and you're pretty much giving the person advice not to go to that person, whether they take it or not.
No, I'm saying he's dangerous. There's a difference. A warning is not the same as an advice. A warning is saying, be aware. Advice is saying, do this or that. Because if you pick up a pack of cigarettes, there's a warning on it that says this can cause you cancer. Okay, I'm saying Kevin is dangerous, but the packet does not.
Is a yellow light a warning, or is it advice? Is a yellow light a warning, or is it advice?
Advice would be don't smoke no cigarettes. That's advice.
Ma'am, you act like it's going to make you less of a person to say that a warning is advice. No, you're trying to dance around the fact that you're being a hypocrite.
MoneyBoy, I answered you already, and I was talking to Amber because she said I'm advising, and I'm not. A warning is not advice.
A warning is advice.
A warning says be aware.
If you tell someone to wear a condom, if you tell someone to wear a condom or they'll get pregnant, is that not a warning and advice?
I didn't get it. Yep, no, but there's a difference between the two, warning and advice.
Exactly. You just agree with me, and then you disagree. Okay.
A warning is this condom is only 97% effective. That's a warning. It didn't say use condoms or not. It just said, hey, it's only 97% effective.
You just changed the narrative. But if you tell somebody to wear it, that's a warning and advice.
So when you're giving a warning, the definition of a warning is to advise or order to stay away.
No,
she knows this, Amber. She's just trying to uphold her image and pretend to be right.
We need a dictionary because we don't know the difference between a warning and advice.
I just looked it up and I just read to you what the definition of a warning is.
There's similes.
There's two different things.
Let me ask y'all a question though.
If you decide to take my warning as advice, you can do that, but they're not one and the same. They're not.
Let me ask y'all a question though. Okay,
one is information. The other one is direction. The one gives direction.
Okay.
The other one is just information.
All right, let me ask y'all a question though. Like
as far as credentials. Go ahead.
All right,
warning is also the definition of warning is also cautionary advice.
Let me ask y'all a question though.
That's dictionary definition.
Let me ask y'all a question though. We can talk about warning and advice though, but are we holding these people warning or advice? Are we holding the people who are following these dangerous people, if you want to call them dangerous, are we holding them accountable? I don't care if it's a warning or advice. If you're dumb enough to follow Kevin Samuels or Tommy Sotomayor or Donald Trump or Barack Obama, if you're following them and you don't have no kind of sense to know, they're taking me down the wrong path, something is wrong with you. So you have an issue before you started following these people.
And the thing is, Amber is doing the same thing that Kevin does. He gives you misdirection, misleading information. Because when I pull up this word warning, the first thing it says is a statement or event that indicates a possible impending danger. Now, she jumped on down to underneath similar. She's under the similar category where it says cautionary advice. But
because that's still a form of the definition of it.
Possible impending
cautionary advice. We said it was a simile, but they're the same thing. That's why it's called a simile.
The dictionary
That's why. If did you found it under there, right? If did you not find it under there? It said similar.
They're not the same. Okay, so
what does similar mean, ma'am? What does similar mean?
See, now we're going into the whole dictionary.
This is what you've been doing with. This is what you've been doing with the same words for the past 10 minutes. Now we're here. Now we're here. What does similar and same mean?
Get your own dictionary.
What do similar and same mean?
Almost the same. It means almost like it, but not exact. Because the same thing means identical. That means
okay. Well, warning is almost like giving advice. Can we agree on that? A warning is almost like giving advice.
No, it's the same thing.
It's similar. How can you disagree and you just said it's similar?
If you want to think that, you can, but the dictionary flat out tells you it's a statement that indicates possible.
See, these are the type of women that Tommy and Kevin Samuels warn about.
Because they think too much.
They can't even be honest about a damn word.
Because Kevin thinks that Tommy Lee is a high value woman. Okay.
I mean, she is to some people. In some circles, she's considered that.
She's been alive. Okay.
But you just said you said women come out of jail and marry high value women, so it should be okay for a woman to come out of jail, get the bag, and marry men.
Said they were high value.
Everybody's definition of high value is different. Everybody's definition of high value is different. So you don't have to take Kevin Samuel's definition of high value. You can have your own definition of high value. So when
your reasoning skills and comprehension, and I've noticed that since I've been online, because I wasn't always online, the comprehension
from the insults
to a great degree. missing to a great degree, because if you want to think that a warning is the same thing as a direction, then you can do that.
The dictionary just told you they're similar, ma'am. You said the dictionary said they're similar. And I asked you what does similar mean, and then you started going into this field about comprehension skills.
You saying a warning, what I said is that somebody could take that you say, for you to say warning of Kevin Samuels, that they could take that as advice. They could take it that, okay.
If they want to take it as advice, they can, but it's
right, because a warning is similar. It is not identical, but it is similar.
Kevin Samuels is giving warnings, not advice. Then how about that?
He's giving advice.
He's giving warnings. No, he's giving warnings. You don't know what he's giving warnings, and they're similar. So
he's defining people. He's not
based on reality. He's defining people based on the real world, though. Generally, men want a slender woman and not a fat one. You don't see a lot of millionaire men. You don't see a lot of millionaire men with fat women. And you don't see a lot of millionaire women with fat men. These are just facts.
I don't care if they are. That's the thing I'm telling you.
So he's basing his stuff on reality, ma'am.
But what I'm telling you is that I'm warning them that number one, this man is abusive. Number two, this man misrepresents data. Number three, this man is not qualified to give the advice he's given. I'm warning them of that. That's a warning. Now, if they want to follow him after that, they can go right on ahead because I didn't advise them not to.
Hey, check this out. What type of qualifications you gotta have to give advice?
I advise anyone, don't listen to him. Not one. You can watch my whole videos and recite it word for word, and you will not hear me telling anyone, don't listen to him, don't follow him. I never said it. Never.
Okay,
because
what were
it
you
was
saying,
just a
love?
warning. It was not advice.
All right,
I
love
say, what
bud.
type of qualifications you gotta have to give advice then?
I would, if I'm going to take advice from somebody on how to live my life and conduct my dating life, I want them to be either a relationship coach or a life coach.
All right, let me ask you a question.
Anybody can call themselves a relationship
What
coach.
makes them special? A pastor could give you relationship advice.
Correct. Correct.
So what makes a life coach a certified person? What has the life coach done to give them what has the life coach done to make them be like, you're the only person to go to for advice?
They have been trained by a professional to do what they do. They have passed a test that renders them certified by a board that certifies them that they are qualified to do this. What's on this?
Let me ask you a question though. You're right. If somebody's certified in something, I understand people trust them. You know how many people are certified and have got the right training? Okay, that's like saying a martial artist person. It's like saying a person who goes out here and they learn under a master how to do martial arts. Does that mean once you train in karate under a master, they tell you not to take their stuff out in the streets and hurt people? But if that person has evil intentions, they will take what they learn and do something wrong. Just because somebody learning from credentials don't mean they won't do something evil. You can trust somebody and they might have the right education, they might have the right stuff they learn. That don't mean they're gonna do right by you. And somebody with less education might do right. It's all about the intentions of the person, because it's people out here like in the NBA, they have got conned by people with suits. Going back to what you were saying about Kevin Samuels. So if you think because somebody has the credentials, they still can't do you wrong, then that'll be a big trouble for you. Because I don't care what nobody
you don't have to have credentials to be a relationship.
I never said that. I never said that. I said that he's not qualified to give the advice he's given. And you know what? And I even said, Amber, earlier, I don't know if you were here or not, but I even said, I'll take life experience. Because some of these people that I see on here giving advice, they don't have the degree, but they can say, I've been married for 35 years. I've been married for 40 years. I'll take that. I'll take 20 years. I'll take that. Kevin doesn't even have that. If Kevin was able to sit there and say, I've been married for 20 years, he got 2 divorces.
Okay, so can I ask?
But that's still life experience. That's life experience, though.
Hey, MoneyBoy, can I ask you this? Of the women who have divorced Kevin, have you spoken to any of them personally?
No, and I don't have to.
Okay, but wait. So you made the assumption that they divorced him because the amount that he made wasn't enough to put up with what he was saying and perceiving to the world, correct?
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. So
that's evident.
Then you said that.
I didn't say that as a
right.
Now, I straight up said, before I said that, I straight up said this is a rumor with no regard. This is my opinion. I can't prove that, and I ain't trying to prove it. I never said.
But do you think it's possible? Because me being a married woman, if my husband were to cheat, I would leave him. It doesn't have anything to do with the financial aspect.
It does prove that I had 6 figures and my wife didn't stay. Because
guess what?
You don't know
I
if he
make my
cheated,
own money.
though.
I don't need to depend on my husband. So therefore, they
You don't know
probably
if he cheated. He may have cheated.
But see, that's the thing. Kevin is saying all you got to do is have
He
6
may have
figures,
cheated.
have
Jeff
these women.
Bezos' wife
Or
left
who's
him
to
for
say
cheating.
that they didn't leave him for somebody
He the
who
richest
made
nigga
more
in the
money
world.
than him and were cheating on him during the relationship?
You're actually, but he didn't leave them. He said I didn't leave them. They left
The
me.
women can leave men if they find somebody else to be with. There are grimy women out there too.
Exactly. And
so you can't put his relationship fails all on him.
6 figures didn't stop them from leaving, because he's telling these men, all you need is 6 figures, all you need is 6 figures, all you need is 6 figures. But he had 6 figures and 2 women left him. It doesn't matter why they left. The 6 figures didn't keep them.
He didn't say. Did he tell anybody that 6 figures would make a woman or man stay? I don't think I've ever heard him say, if they got money, they will stay.
You need to get them. That's what you need to get them. That's what he said. That's what you need to get them. And my only position was,
I don't get that statement. That's what you need to get them.
They didn't stay.
Well, he getting them and making them stay are 2 different things. He's not saying, ma'am, like your analysis of this is starting to be a bit weird.
Now we're getting into fantasy land thinking. It's fantastical thinking.
Ma'am, just because a person has money doesn't mean they're going to be faithful. That's why celebrities break up all the time.
I gotta have the answer. Because this is gonna tell me who I'm talking to. You think that they're going to him for advice on how to get a woman that's not going to stay. That's only going to be there for a year, 2 years, 3 years. You think that's
Ma'am,
what they want?
it's not his job to make them stay, ma'am. That's nobody's job is to make them stay. They can just tell you how to bait, how to catch. I can tell you how to put the bait on the rod. I can't make the fish jump on. I can't make you catch the fish.
But see, but you're using as his evidence that it works is that they got
Ma'am,
married.
it does work.
But
Women have called
his
in and
advice
said that
leads
it
you to
works.
divorce.
Women
If you
have
look at
called in
his
and
life,
said that it
his
works.
advice will lead you to
Women
divorce.
have called in and said that it works. So you just gonna ignore that?
And so they call in because they want to be divorced. Because following his
They've
advice,
called in and
if you're
said that
using his
his
life as
advice has
success,
helped them.
he's getting
They've
divorced.
called in and said his advice has helped them. So you can't
But
say
see,
it's
this not
hurting
even
people. So
this not even a
because you're
mature thing because
ignoring the fact
you're
that this
thinking
man has
that
helped people. You're
because
just saying you're saying
according to
because
what you're
his
saying.
thing isn't 100%, then it doesn't work. But that's not true. You're not taking into account the
So
people
this
that
is just
said
a
he's
difference of
helped.
opinion then, because this is a different opinion because I'm of the opinion that they're calling wanting a successful marriage. You're of the opinion that they're calling just to get some attention from a woman that's wealthy. That's what you believe in. You believe in that these wealthy men are coming there just to get a woman to show up for a year or so, because that's what you're saying.
No,
So
they're coming to
that's your
find out
opinion.
how to get. They're coming to find out how to meet these women, how to present themselves to these
No,
women,
they're
what to
not.
do to get these women. Once they
Yeah.
meet these women, it's their job to have the game to pull them. He can't fuck the women for them. He can't spit the game for the women. All he can do is tell you how to get to the women.
But that's not what he's doing.
I think what we tend to forget is that everybody has different characteristics and different demographics and want different things. So where Kevin Samuels may help some people that fit that narrative that he is giving advice on, and other people may not appreciate it because they have a different way of going about life when it comes to their morals and beliefs. I think that we tend to negate that the people that have called in and stated that help them are the people that fit in that area of advice that is being given, because that is what they want.
Yeah, and I don't care what they want, and I don't care, what is. But my only concern is this is an abusive man. This is how he speaks to people. This
Can
man
you show
has no
somebody
credentials.
that he's
He's
hurt?
got no credentials, and he misrepresents data. That's
He
all I'm
Can
doesn't
saying.
you
speak
show?
to
Can
everybody
you
like
show
that, though.
somebody
I
that he's
watched a
hurt
video
though?
with Kevin Samuels, who did a video with what's her name, Tangerina, and her dude that do those videos and stuff where they had business conversation and everything, and he did not once get belligerent with them giving them advice.
Who has
So
called in or made a video saying that Kevin Samuels' advice didn't work? Because I repeat again, there are
I
several
don't care if his
people who have
advice works. So
made
that's my thing. I
videos
don't
and
care if his
came
advice
in and
works.
said it worked. So you don't care if the man is helping
No,
people. You just want your narrative to ride that he ain't helping people.
no.
Fuck the people he's
No,
helping.
because the fact can't be changed that he speaks abusively to women. That's a fact that can't be changed. It's in the video recorded.
So the
Number
people,
two,
so
the
the
fact that can't
women
be changed.
the
He
women he's helped
misrepresents
were
data.
abused. So
He
the women he's
misrepresents
helped were
data.
abused. Where are the people that said he's abused them? Where are the women saying that he's abused me?
I can see it. You can't see it. You don't. I can hear it. You can't
So
hear
you're
abusive
speaking
speech.
for people
Let
and
me tell you something. You
assuming
don't
he's
recognize
abusing
abusive
people.
speech when you hear it. You don't recognize abusive
But
speech when
you
you hear
don't
it because
have
I can't repeat
anybody
it.
saying it but you. Ain't nobody made no video. Ain't nobody said, oh,
That's
Kevin
the reason
Samuels'
why
advice
That's the only reason
sucks.
why.
Ain't
That's
nobody
why.
called in and said, bro, I listened to you and you suck ass. You made my girl leave. No, but people have called in and said, bro, you changed my life. But
All
you
right,
keep ignoring that.
let me ask y'all a question.
Yeah,
Now.
because the ones that don't, he hangs up on them.
Let me ask you a question. He has said abusive things to women, but my thing is, I don't know about like if it's like changing everything. He has been abusive, but at the same time, I don't know if the women are gonna call in and say he abused them. He has said mean things to them, just like Tommy say mean things to him. Are these women calling in saying that? No.
Saying mean things
I
isn't
think
abusive,
he
though.
does have a vulgar way of speaking, but I've also hear him speak to men like that on the line as well.
That's still not
Exactly.
okay.
He very does. It's not. Yeah, he
It's
does.
still
He
not
talked to
okay.
men.
Why is
He
abusive
talked
speech
to men.
okay?
He talked to men and women the same way.
It's still not okay. And somebody said, "Oh, would you have the same energy if he was talking to a man?" Yeah. It's still abusive speech. He's
Ma'am,
still
you
being
just
abusive.
talked about our
That's
level
my
But
of
with
point.
those people
understanding and
already
comprehension.
seeing
You
how he
abuse us
speaks,
on this
for
panel.
them to call in
You verbally
makes
abused
them
us on this panel,
questionable
ma'am.
then, because if they
I'm
already
not
know
cursing
that
any
he
one of
speaks
you.
vulgarly and I'll put in quotes, abusively, they're still calling in to seek advice from somebody who they know is going to speak to them like that.
And I didn't tell him not to. I'm saying this man is abusive. He misrepresents data. He's not educated, and he's speaking for a group of people that he doesn't represent.
Hey, check this out.
How do you know his
Data
level
does
of
he
education
misrepresent?
now? How do you know his level of education now?
What? The man is uneducated. He doesn't have a
How do
degree
you
in
know
anything
his
as far as I'm
level of
concerned. He's
How do you
uneducated.
know his education level?
Because I looked him up.
You make a lot of
I don't like
assumptions
the women
about.
that
Do
calls
you
into
want to
his
fuck
show.
Kevin
I
Samuels?
did
I think
research.
you're
I
upset
looked.
because
He went to a
you're not the
college,
type woman he looks
he
for.
went into the program, but they don't say he got a degree. He didn't get a degree. He doesn't have a degree in anything. He doesn't have a certificate. He's not qualified to give the advice he's giving. He's unqualified. He's uneducated. He's uneducated. He's unqualified. You might be someone who lets any Joe Blow off the street talk to you and tell you what to do and give you advice. I don't. I look up people. I look up every doctor I've ever had. I've looked up
everybody on the panel and in the chat room could feel the same way about
everybody doesn't.
But at the same time, you're right. You supposed to look up information on people. You're supposed to study these people. So that says a lot about these people who are listening to Kevin Samuels. They're not looking up stuff. They're not studying them. They're not doing their research. So these people are not prepared. So that says a lot about these people that are calling in on these shows. If they're not prepared for what Kevin Samuels is going to give them, they better stop calling in on the show. Stop calling in on this guy's show if you ain't prepared, because that's a big issue. If you ain't prepared for what he's gonna throw out there, if you ain't prepared for what he's gonna tell you, if you're not tough enough, smart enough, stop calling these guys shows. That's how I feel.
And I never said that. I never told them they couldn't call. I never told them not to follow him or not. I never did that. I said this man is abusive. Right. He misrepresents data. He's uneducated.
So if you don't want to dissuade people from listening to him or calling them in, why are you telling them this?
For the same reason that men who are
because you're trying to get them to stop listening to him and watching him. Keep it real. Keep it real. This is your chance to keep it real at the Flies and the whole show. This is your chance to keep it real.
That pedophiles have to register so that the people around them.
So you want people to stop watching him, correct?
I want them to be aware that he's there.
You want them to stop.
They make pedophiles register.
You full of shit,
so that the community is aware. My video is a warning so that the community can be aware. That's all it is. I never said don't call him. I never said don't go. I never said don't believe him. I'm saying be aware.
But it's people out here who don't want to call. I mean, yeah, you never said that. But it's people out here who don't want people to call in the Kevin Samuels show. But at the end of the day, people are going to call in because they love how he talks to them. They love the drama. A lot of people support him because they love him. Like him and Tommy Sotomayor got that I don't give a damn. That's why people call in, and that's why people watch that show. They're not afraid to tell you the fucking truth. And we can't stop that.
Manly gossip. Keep it real. Yep. I'm not going to tell you about somebody being bad unless I don't want you to be around that person, to listen to that person, to follow that person. Even if it's a warning, I'm warning you that that person is bad. Like she's trying to dance around this. I don't know why saying ma'am, it's common sense. If you're making this video warning people that he's uneducated and he misrepresents data, you're saying don't go over there and follow. Keep your eyes open. Something ain't right with the man.
I'm saying keep your eyes open. Something ain't right with the man. I'm saying that, but I ain't saying don't go. You can go if you want to. You know, but my thing is that
does anybody understand what I'm saying? Other than Passion and Bliss?
I understand you. I just don't agree with you.
So you don't agree that you're trying to dissuade people from listening to or following him?
No.
So you just doing it for the fun of it.
Because this is the thing. This is about who I am. When there's a problem, if there's a problem, I have to. In order for me to go and get in my bed and lay down and sleep well at night, I have to feel like I did something to try to fix that problem. I feel that he is a cancer in our community. I feel that he is destructive. I feel that he is negative. I feel that he abuses women and tears them down psychologically as far as he can. I believe that he misrepresents data. He's a con artist and a liar. I believe that he, does not have those best interests at heart. And because I believe that, I have to warn them. In order for me to lay down at night and sleep in bed, I have to warn them so that I can say I did something. I did something. So, they don't have to follow or do what I say, but I have to be able
And to
to
go
sleep
to your
safe. I
sexual
need so.
registry example, I would tell people about the sexual registry. Like in my neighborhood, I would let them know the pedophiles there so they could keep their kids away from that particular house.
What they do about it is their business, but the community has a right to know that there's a threat. However they respond to the threat is their business.
I've seen other videos with Kevin Samuels, and I just sent it to MoneyBoy, Trey, and Mario, where he actually is speaking to who just a moment, real quick. He is speaking to the Clayton Thomas. Okay, he's speaking to Clayton Thomas and his woman, and he speaks in a non-vulgar way. He speaks about what he did before moving to Oklahoma as far as his career and everything like that. So I'd have to disagree with what you're saying because I've seen more than one side to Kevin Samuels, not just based off of his podcast. And I've seen for proof how he's been able to help others in the Black community without being vulgar or, air quotes, as you say, abusive.
Well, you know what?
And that's my opinion. So we have to agree to disagree on this one.
Look, Donald Trump has a charitable foundation that he gives millions of dollars to every year. No amount of good that Donald Trump does can erase the nastiness that lives inside of him. So if Kevin did something good today, you saw him be nice to two people, that does not erase the abuse, the disrespect, the contempt that he has shown.
Why is
for Black
Donald
women on this
Trump
show.
nasty?
It's not erased. It's not erased. It doesn't.
You don't
erase
know
what he's
Donald
done.
Trump. How you going to
It's not
assume the
erase
man
fact
nasty?
that he makes up data, that he misrepresents data. It's not, that doesn't erase it because he was sweet to
You
somebody.
make
It's not erased.
assumptions.
It's still there. The fact that he's
Now,
uneducated,
What data
it's not
does he make
erased.
up?
It's still there.
What name a particular piece of data he's made up?
That's for another show.
See, you full of shit. Every time you're asked a direct question, you don't have an answer.
Going down a rabbit hole.
You have a. I just said, give me one. I said, give me one piece of
How
data.
about you watch my video? Because
I said, give me one piece of data. I'm sure it's not in there because if you had that piece of data, or if you knew what it was, you would say it and tell people you've said it in your video.
I have a video. It's entitled
what piece of data? So tell me one piece of data he's misrepresented.
It's in there.
Just one. Just one piece of data he's made up.
Video about it. So why would I take up 20 minutes of manly gossip's time with that?
So it's gonna take 20 minutes to give me one piece of data he's made up, not misrepresented. You said he made up. It's gonna take 20 minutes to give me one.
I said misrepresented. I said misrepresented.
Whatever, misrepresented. Give me one. I don't need 20 minutes worth. Just one example. Say he made up the marriage rate or some shit. What did he do?
I'll tell you this one. And I said I didn't say made it up. I said misrepresent. Okay, there's a difference. Because what he does, and I'll go ahead and do it, it's in my video, is he says 80% of Black women are overweight. These men don't want overweight women. He acts as if the 80% correlates.
80%, that's a true statement though, right?
You gonna let me talk or you not?
Is that a true statement or not?
Yes, that's true.
So he didn't misrepresent it.
I can't see, either you want the answer or you don't. I'm saying it's
I really don't want it because all your answers end up being non-answers.
Then don't ask the question. If you don't want the answer, then don't answer.
I'm just like doing this for the audience to let them see how full of shit you are. You just said 80% is not made up or misrepresented.
This is the kind of people that Kevin appeals to.
It was his opinion that everybody don't want them, but 80% of them are overweight.
In the video, he insisted I give the answer, and then would not let me finish the answer. Says I don't want it, but you just asked for it. You insisted I answer, and when I start to answer, you interrupt and won't let me finish and say I don't want to hear it. So which one is it?
All right, Trey, don't interrupt her. But let her get her point across first. Let her get her point across first, Trey.
You know,
I just had to point out that 80% of Black women are overweight. That's a true statement.
And I said that was true, but he misrepresented that data. I didn't say the data was false. The data was misrepresented because he said he said Black women are overweight. These men aren't marrying women because they've gotten too fat. They're not marrying Black women because Black women are overweight. He said that's 80%, but that's not the reason why they're not marrying those women. He can't provide the data as to why, because number one, he has no data as to how much
Neither
they
can
went away when they
you.
got married. He has
You have no data
what
to
their
say that it's
BMI was
not.
when they got married. And even
You
if
have
he
no data
did,
to combat
does
that
not
either.
necessarily mean that that's the reason why they didn't get married. He
But
is
you have
connecting
no
data that's
data to
unrelated.
say it doesn't.
80%
You
of
have no
black men
data to say it
overweight
doesn't.
is unrelated to women not getting married because they're overweight. The
You
two do
have
not
no
belong
data
together.
to say it doesn't.
Okay. What you got to say,
Exactly.
Mr. Tough Love?
Exactly. Neither one of us has data anyway, which is why I'm not getting up saying that it's not true. But he's saying
All right. We're gonna let Mr. Tough Love talk. What you gotta say, Mr. Tough Love?
First of all, shout out to the panel, to the host again. I'm over here eating this hamburger. Everybody on the panel has some strong perspectives, and I love it. I like the energy. Matter of fact, let me do this because I want to expose you guys. I don't have a lot of followers, but I have a couple, and I would love to restream this with your permission.
Right. You can do that.
Okay, cool. So I said whatever I needed to say kind of earlier. I'm kind of just listening. MoneyBoy Trey is very strong-willed. So is Amber. So I love the energy. I think Passionate Bliss is she's doing well. She's holding her own. So I love just to be a part of listening to the conversation. But I'll definitely chime in when necessary, big bro.
Okay, that's cool. But all right, let me ask y'all a question about this Kevin Samuels. I'm talking to MoneyBoy Trey and Amber Hardy. So y'all think Kevin Samuels is good? He's not do y'all think he's cancerous or non-cancerous? Do you think he's really
okay? So from my opinion, I don't think he's good or bad, and because that goes back to the statement I said before. Everybody else has their own beliefs, morals, and principles in accordance into the way that they live. So those who are influenced and feel that he's helped them, that is not considered bad to them. But those who have a different opinion as to what he is giving out, then that is bad. I don't see things in black and white. I try to stay more in a gray area when it comes to people, depending on the circumstance. And in this circumstance, I'd have to remain in the gray area because of that reason.
So you feel that he's not good or bad. You just feel like Kevin Samuels is neutral.
I feel he's neutral in the aspect of there are some people who are in agreement with those beliefs and morals and principles as far as how they carry themselves and they live. And I feel that there are people who are not in agreement because their principles, beliefs, and morals are on a completely different spectrum.
Okay. MoneyBoy Trey, what is your opinion? You think he's cancerous or non-cancerous to people?
I think he's an entertainer, and I don't think telling somebody that they're fat, if they're fat, is mean or abusive. I don't think telling somebody who rated themselves a 5 or 6, calling them average, is abusive. It's the truth. But I think he's an entertainer, and if he says something that can help somebody, then by all means take his advice. If he says bad stuff and it doesn't work, don't listen to him. It's really that simple.
I mean, I agree with that. Love above hate. Let me ask you a question. Do you think he's cancerous or non-cancerous?
Man, I think he's neither, man. He just do his own thing. He trying to get their bread right now.
That's true. Mr. Tough Love, what is your opinion on Kevin Samuels? Cancerous or non?
I think that he's a necessary evil. I think what he has to say, some people need to hear, and I think that people that do not respect what he has to say, it's very difficult for them to debunk what he's saying because of how they're presenting their argument, and what they're encompassing in the argument to make Kevin Samuels look bad. So when you do that, what you do is you push more people to Kevin Samuels instead of away from Kevin Samuels.
That is true. I agree with that. When you tell somebody they can't do something, they tend to go do it anyway. But
like the forbidden fruit.
Yeah, just like forbidden fruit.
Hey, yo, man, hey, what's your honest opinion on Kevin Samuels, though? What's your honest opinion on him?
Oh, you asking me? Well, my honest opinion on Kevin Samuels, I haven't done a lot of research. I watch his videos. I think he's the asshole. But at the same time, I can't stop his supporters. I'm not trying to, but I don't know much about him. But I mean, like sometimes I've seen videos and he just so rude to people. And I'm like, why are these people doing it? But like he had a video one time where he set this black woman up. She was kind of drunk. And he caught her on the show, and he used her for example. He is very intelligent. Like I said, he's the mastermind of this shit. He used this woman to make an example out of her. He knew she was gonna act a fool, and then when she started not listening to him and saying crazy stuff, he said, "I was about to call you out your name." He wanted to do that. He know what the audience wants to see, so he sometimes bring people on his show and make examples. Like, oh, I know she gonna act a damn fool, so I'm gonna bring her on here so she can say something stupid, so I can goddamn make this money.
He can't make them act a fool though. The women have to act a fool.
You are right. He can't make them act a fool. He can't make them act a fool, but he know how to set it up though. He is smart. It's just like when you want some.
He is.
I mean, I'm not saying he's the smartest man. Okay, just like I'm gonna say for myself, like my title I put up there and the names I put in it. Look how much attention it draws, and then you have these different conversations. Sometimes you got to think like, how am I gonna pull these people in? These people are smart. They know how to pull in. Drama is what people love.
They're
Samuels,
opportunists.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And that's
exactly. He's not that smart. Because that's what I was saying. Like, just like you said, Manly, he pulled up a woman he knew was drunk because he knew he could beat her. He picks those women that comes on there because they're all simple-minded and slow. And when that panel that he called into with those white women, they were on for 2 hours before Kevin came in there, but he was in the chat because he was commenting. They were pulling up his comments. He watched them. He saw that they were no competition for him, and he called into that show. The thing is that
let me ask you a question.
It's entertainment.
The women who could best him, he hangs up on them promptly because I've seen him do that before.
Let me ask you a question though.
Too hard, he hangs up on them.
Let me ask you a question though. I'm gonna say another thing that's why he's smart. I'm gonna say like, okay, I'm gonna bring up Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather whooped a lot of people, and he got to the point, I'm so big, I'm gonna choose my fights. People start saying he was picking weak competition. Mayweather was picking who was coming for him and who was in front of him. So at the same time, Kevin Samuels has got so big, he gets to pick the narrative of how he wants things. That's why Mayweather got to pick. I want to fight him. I want to give him the opportunity. He know he the bag. Kevin Samuels knows he's the bag. It's like Tommy Sotomayor won't let certain people come on his show. He's charging them $1,500 because he says, I am the money bag. You're going to play my game. It's like when I try to go on this show, he dropped it to $300. Like, I'm not paying you nothing, but he knows he can make my career go up in a way by giving me subscribers. It's like Kevin Samuels feel like, I am the bag. You're going to play by my rules.
Yeah. And that part of it is smart. He, like you said, he is smart to pick people he knows cannot best him. Because women who can, I've heard maybe two, I think I've heard call in. I was like, well, she might be able to get with him. He hung up on her promptly. Because
why would you want to get bested on your own show, though, ma'am? You wouldn't want somebody to come on your show and best you, so don't hold that against him. It's business.
The thing is that, no, I wouldn't come on my show for you to best me. I will come on Manly Gossip Show. Because I don't want to be able to control anybody's mic or cut them off and pull them off. I would like a neutral host. You can't
point being
you ain't best me here today. So let me tell you,
ma'am, I'm not trying. You missed the whole point. Your mouth running a mile a minute. You missed the whole point. The whole point is nobody wants to get bested on their own show. If Manly Gossip felt like he was getting bested, I would expect him to be like, oh hell no, then you got to go. That's just common sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it like this though. I'm gonna say it like this. If you feel you're getting bested, I mean, come on now, ain't nobody gonna best Kevin Samuels on the show. But at the same time, like, I don't feel I'm getting bested. I'm getting entertainment out of this. And also everybody likes it. So, I mean, on that show, they probably don't want nobody to come on. Kevin Samuels and Tommy Sotomayor don't want nobody to dominate their show. I mean, it just is what it is. That's their show. I agree. I mean, that's cool. That's cool.
And this is why I say he's not that smart. Because I have been in corporate America for decades. I have dealt with people who are better at the game of manipulation than Kevin ever will be. And I've held my own. So I know that Kevin is not that smart because I've seen his type before. I've seen
you sound like a hater now. At this point, you just sound like a hater.
That smart. And let me tell you, Mr. Tough Love, I wanted to tell you, Mr. Tough Love, you said that Kevin cannot be debunked. Nobody's able to debunk him. Number one, he's not going to let them on his show to debunk him. He'll cut the mic off. He'll hang up. He'll curse her out, claim she's interrupting him. He'll hang up on her. So nobody's going to come on his show and debunk him. He can
You
be
haven't
debunked.
done it tonight.
This is the way.
In 3 hours, you failed to do it tonight.
Let her finish, because I'm going to respond.
Kevin's platforms are based on opinions. You cannot debunk an opinion. An opinion can't be wrong because you're saying this is what I think. But the only thing that can be debunked is Kevin stating these facts, these percentages make what I say true.
When you listen to this back, you're going to say, this country nigga told my ass
there's no
up.
correlation. He does it repeatedly. He connects two things that are not related. But the way he states that his audience is not discerning enough to separate the fact out is that he's giving a percentage is true, but it's not related to what he said, and there is no data for what he said. So
you're smarter than 523,000 people.
No, I'm smarter than the people he brings up on his platform. Because there are people in the audience that agree with me. The people he brings
that's
up,
a good argument.
They can't debunk him.
Hold on, let me help that.
All right, that's a good argument.
I'm smarter than the people he's willing to talk to.
Okay, so check this out. Why haven't you called into Kevin Samuel's show if you feel you can best him?
Because he will hang up on me. He will play clown music.
No.
So that means she hasn't called.
Wait.
You can't
hold on, wait.
You cannot call into his show and have a discussion with him. He won't have it.
Hold on. Are you saying that Kevin Samuels is screening the calls and doing a background check on the people that he talks to beforehand? No, I want her to answer.
There's some who have accused him of that, but I have not accused him of that. But I feel
okay. We're gonna keep this conversation honest. What I'm saying is,
this is how he screens. Let me finish. He screens because he hangs up on them when they're too smart or they're too sharp. He hangs up on them. Get the fuck off. He hangs up on them.
So what is? Hold on. What is? Okay.
Don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me.
What is? Okay. What is?
She hasn't called, ladies and gentlemen. She hasn't tried to call.
No, listen. So
don't interrupt me and hangs up.
So here's my thought process. My thought process is that we're providing warnings to people to where we haven't called in to address the source yet. That's one.
Because there's no point.
Whoa! I'm listening. I'm listening.
And he hangs up on them.
Not them. I'm talking about
you. He hasn't hung up on you because you haven't called.
I'm talking about you.
First he interrupts them. And then says,
you have not called, ma'am. Just say it. Say, I ain't gonna call because I think you ain't gonna call.
So there's no point.
You're giving the excuse to not call.
So here's the thing. The thing is that doing a video about someone that you're not willing to talk to but talk about is an oxymoron to a certain extent.
And didn't you talk about that earlier today, Mario?
It's a warning.
Yeah.
About talking about people but not willing to actually hold a conversation with them.
Yeah, I'm feeling like this warning.
Because I tell you
I'm feeling that
if
like okay.
Go on somebody else's platform, then yeah, I would talk to him. But there's no point in calling him on his platform. He stacks the deck.
But see, here's the thing. Your video, imagine this, right? Because my background is marketing. So imagine
if
you.
On somebody else's platform,
no, hold on, wait. You cut me off. You Kevining me now.
You would rather follow him around to another platform than go to his.
So check this out. Would it be more powerful and impactful with your story, your narrative to say, I'm going to record me calling into Kevin's show and I'm going to have a conversation. Now, if you calling in to scream and yell and do all that other stuff, of course you're going to get hung up on. But if you stay civilized and you have a conversation and you record that and you prove that he hung up on you, then you go to your platform and say, see, I told you guys, I called in, I was speaking civilized and he hung up on me. But right now, you don't know what he would do. You're assuming that he would do that to you, but he's never done it to you.
If you see a pattern, you have to believe that the person's going to remain consistent with their pattern.
Let me ask you a question.
I'm not, and this is what I'll say too. I'm not that.
So you're not willing to do field research
I'm not that invested enough in what he's doing. My position is that I need to at least say something, and that's all I did. I said something.
Let me ask you a question, Passionate Bliss.
I feel like that's the extent of my obligation because I did.
Let me ask you a question.
I didn't do it because I cared about Kevin or his platform, what he's doing, how much money he made. I don't care nothing about him or his platform. I care about the women that would call in and subject themselves to him. And I feel like I need to warn them, and that's all. Because I feel like that's my obligation. Okay.
All right, let me ask you a question, though.
Is to warn.
But at the same time, though, if you're gonna call in on their show, you're gonna have to play by their rules. That's what I was told one time by someone when I was thinking about calling in on Tommy Sotomayor's show. You have to play by their rules.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to, or you're not gonna best them on their show. You're gonna have to play by their rules. I mean, that's how it's gonna be. And I mean, like,
because my thing is that the purpose of communication is to understand and to be understood. So calling to debate someone is of no interest to me because he's entitled. I understand what he's about and what he wants and what he's trying to do. He can do that, and that's fine. I don't care about what he's doing enough to call in. I do care about the women who call in who are abused. So I made a video as a warning, and that's all I feel like I'm obligated to do is to warn. I'm not trying to win. I don't want to be right. I don't need to come out on top. I don't have to debate him because I don't care enough about what he's doing to do that. But I care about those women, and I want to warn them, and that's all I'm doing is warning them.
All right, I brought somebody new on because the other guy went off. Macedon, you got something to say?
I actually do. It started with the certified truth conversation, and basically the reason why I follow Tommy is because he talks about black men. Nobody's really uplifting men anymore. Everything is about the black woman. Black woman needs to do this, and black woman needs to do that, and we need to uplift them. And when it comes to like the black community, it's like we're more looking towards black women instead of black people as a whole. You understand me?
I agree with that, Macedon. I agree with that.
There's a reason.
Macedon, say that again now. I kind of didn't hear what you said. Say that again, Macedon, so I can elaborate on it.
Well, the reason why I listen to Tommy is because the issue is that we don't have nobody uplifting black men. When it comes to the black community, for some reason, everything is geared towards the black woman. Thank God for the black woman. Black women helped, did this and that and this, and they birthed us and this and that and this and this. I'm gonna be rude. yeah, there's a reason. There's reason, but that tells you what are we? I'm a black man, and I call myself a third degree black man. That's how dark I am. To me, I feel like, we don't uplift men anymore. I'm not saying that, we should shit on women or anything like that, but recently hearing Kevin Samuels, he was talking about something like a white collared man and a blue collared man. And he said, we need to give thanks to the blue collared man because they provided a way for the white collared man. Yes, the white collared man is making all these moves and they know how to make money and everything, but it all started with the blue collared man.
But let me ask you a question. So you're saying that Tommy doesn't uplift men. You saying Tommy uplifts men? I mean,
that's what he's all about, is uplifting men. He'll tell you he's for men's rights. I mean, I think if you look to his shows, he's pointing out all the wrongdoings of what a woman is doing. Not only a woman, a black woman. He's showing that. Oh, I also wanted to say this too. I found that it's interesting to find Tommy took what's wrong with the black community, and he basically, damn, I keep on forgetting the word. He basically broke it down all the way to the black woman, saying that, the reason why the black community is like this is because women are the first teachers of our children. So basically thinking about that, I was like, what does he mean by that? Well, yeah, you pick the man for your, You pick the man for your child, basically. And you picking the man determines how that child grows up. Yes, you have situations where the child can be extraordinary, somebody great. And at the same time, they'll just probably be sometimes where a child can be dead shit. Now, I heard statistics that black men in prison are statistically coming from single parent households. And basically that shows that, who's raising these kids? It's single black women. So basically that's all interesting to me. And yet nobody has really debunked that.
Let me ask you a question, Macedon. Macedon, let me ask you a question now. You're saying that He's defending the black men because he's blaming it on the black women. Now,
No, no,
at the
no, no.
same
I'm not
time,
saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But go ahead.
I mean, I get what you're saying, and it sounds like sometimes it sounds like Tommy is just blaming everything on the black women. It's not. It's both. Because two people take to have a kid. If the woman at home by herself taking care of a kid, the black man is just at fault. And I believe in uplifting black men and black women, black people, period. But sometimes it's hard to say who Tommy is trying to uplift because he got up on there and talked about Breonna Johnson and he was calling her fat. And he told me on the show that's his way of getting past the death. I'm saying, come on, you don't even know this woman.
Yeah, that shit was dirty though.
That's dirty because how is he using Breonna Johnson's death to get past death? Breonna Johnson is not your family. When he was up there
Okay.
talking about she was fat, ugly, saying she was this and that, he wasn't doing it to get past death. He just was a nasty person that wanted to talk about somebody. I don't know if he just is the uplifting person like you say. I don't know about that. He downs black women. That's not good. Because black women are just as important as the black man. You can't down one and pull up the other. Because if you're gonna down black women and pull up black men, then that's like saying you're gonna pull up your mother and down your father, pull up your father, down your mother. He should be trying to uplift everybody in the black community. So I don't
think there
agree.
needs to be a unified platform for black men and black women to be able to come together.
Exactly. Because that's what's wrong.
That's tough love.
Somebody said something?
Hello?
Yeah, what was you saying, Macedon?
Well, I get what you guys are saying. I can't really explain it like he does, but I get what he's saying. I just want to say this part. When it comes to like black women, basically, they're the first teachers of our children, and basically he said that yes, all these degeneracy that's coming from the black community is coming from single parent household, and who's raising our our children? Black women. So this is amazing to me. What else I was gonna say? When it came to certified truth, I was trying to understand him. To me, yes, he is toxic and poison. He's not doing anything for the black community, but trying to get he's just a scorned dude that's trying to get back at Tommy by hiding under, I'm doing this for the black community. That is sick. I think we should point out our flaws in the black community so we can tell people, yo, we can't go down this direction. The reason why we can't go down this direction is because it's hurting us. Statistics shows that, black people are dead last for these reasons alone. We need to fix this. No, nobody has solutions, but yes, we can point out the degeneracy of what's going on in our community.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I definitely don't agree with Tommy. I mean, he a different type of monster, man. I don't know if I agree with this guy, but I mean, I get what you're trying to say, and he tried to explain to me as well that he was trying to help more than anything. But at the same time, when you sit up here and you put up a black woman or anybody, I don't care what color the woman was, you put up a dead woman and talk about she look like a man, she look like a transsexual. Look at her, these fat hoes don't know this. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, that's disgusting. That's very disgusting to me.
It is disgusting, but he said it before. He's a comedian. Yeah, he'll rag on himself. Listen, he'll comment. What's it called? He's a comedian. He'll rag on himself too, as well.
He's not a comedian.
Hey, some people say he is a comedian. Some people say he isn't. I mean, yeah, I see his shows and I classify him as a comedian because his jokes are funny at times. Not all of them land, but they are funny. Now, I don't know what you classify a comedian. What do you do? A couple of stand-up shows? What get you at a status as a comedian? To me, he did that. He did stand-up shows. But back to the Breonna Johnson thing.
Yeah, talk about that.
Back to the Breonna Johnson thing. He said that, and it was in his title. And basically, I had to understand why he did that. And he did step by step to show you what kind of person Breonna Johnson was. Breonna Johnson had issues within herself. You know, we all heard.
Hey,
Just a
hey,
moment.
man.
At Armors,
Hey, you
I
can't say
didn't
that now.
disagree
Come
with
on, man.
everything that Passion was saying. And I made that a point when I was asking her when I first got on this platform. So
let me ask you a
I
question.
disagree with some aspects.
How in the world can Tommy know what kind of person Brianna Johnson? When he didn't know that woman, he was going off of her YouTube channel, and he pointed out what kind of woman she was.
Do you understand how? Okay, listen. Do you understand how Brianna Johnson died? Do you understand how she died?
So you saying it's her fault? She died because she dated a man that won't shit. She didn't know what kind of man. I mean, that's like me finding a
really understand.
Understand.
No, for real. Did you know how Brianna Johnson died? Just tell me that part.
Hold on.
Hey,
what you mean?
hey,
How she?
let's just assume we don't know how she died. How did she die?
Okay, well let me tell you how he explained it to me, and this is his theory. But his theory was kind of logical. Yes, it was Tommy Sotomayor's theory. I'm not saying it's true, but it was his theory.
We on theories and shit like that.
I know that's right. I don't agree with that, bro.
Can I explain to you what he said? So that's why he was making all these things, all these what's it called, comments about Brianna Johnson. What happened with Brianna Johnson? What happened with Brianna Johnson? It was in the news story that she was found in the back of her car, dead. The person who was driving that car was her boyfriend. Her boyfriend came straight out of jail. Tommy went on, I believe, her YouTube channel or Facebook or whatever, and you can see the life she lived with that boyfriend. That boyfriend seemed like he did not want to be in any part of Brianna Johnson's life, but live at her home. So basically,
all right, that's fair right there. But what they got to do with her weight?
What? Basically, it doesn't. That's a comedic part. That's all I can say. It's a comedic part. But at the same time, I was listening to the story because it is a fucked up story. To me, what I got from it was, you pick an ain't shit man, just know that it'll lead to a detrimental thing. Basically, you pick the guy that came from jail. Nothing good came out of that. Come on, you're supposed to be smarter than that. That's what I learned from the story.
But I don't get the comedy part though.
I don't get the comedy part on that. Exactly. And my thing is too, let me tell you, my thing is, a lot of people, men and women, pick bad relationships. So if I go out here and meet a woman at Walmart and she kill me, now I'm a stupid motherfucker. Come on now. You trying to say the woman made a bad decision? She didn't know the man was a killer. I mean, come on now. That could happen to anybody. How are you gonna know?
It's victim shaming. Nobody deserved to die in the way that she died, and I don't think anybody should be putting her down based off of her physical aspects or whatever the case was. Did she make a bad decision in the person she got with?
Yes, she made a bad decision.
Okay, but she probably, hold on, let me finish. Okay, but she also probably didn't understand or didn't think that something bad was going to happen to her. So you can't victim shame her at the end of the day, let alone tear down somebody's physical characteristics or whatever the case may be.
Exactly. Because
at the end of the day, it all falls back on this man's actions. Now, whether she chose to be, maybe she thought him getting out of prison, he was going to change. Because you know what? A lot of us women will get with the man thinking that he's going to change or he could do better. Or what do you call him? Fix him upper man. You think you can fix the man, but you can't. Some women are not beyond that maturity level to understand that how a man is how a man is, and you cannot change that.
But just know that that's what Tommy Sotomayor does. He finds what's it called, stories after stories after stories, and he put it at the forefront to tell you, okay, yes, he makes jokes about it, but he's pointing out this is what's killing the black community. You know, stories like this is what people look at. You know, you don't see white stories as much as you see black stories in I can't even
because
say it. But
the media does not publicize them the way they do the black community.
Exactly. So the media, the media
cannot statistically be the cause. We're only 14% of the population. We are not,
and that's amazing, and we're still the ones that are always on the news.
And even if she did date a bum, the penalty for dating a bum is not death. Okay.
Exactly.
So
Let me ask you a question.
The point that he was making was that people need to be more aware of their surroundings. I don't agree with him making fun of her for being fat or all of that, but the overall premise is even in the pictures in the videos, you could see dude resented her. He was just with her for a place to stay, and she did not recognize that.
Thank you, tough love.
He
Thank you
does
for
have a
clarifying that for
psychology
me.
degree,
Thank
and
you.
so he gave his professional opinion.
Let me ask y'all a question though.
That's what I got from it too. Thank you, tough
Let me
love.
ask y'all a question though. Look, all right, this is the question I gotta ask. Even though she wasn't paying attention to how I resent, anybody can get in a relationship with somebody who resent them. Like, I mean, come
He's
on now. She
saying
ain't the
pay
only.
attention. He's saying pay
She ain't the,
attention. No, that's the point. Pay attention.
but
We
hold up
know
though.
this. We have to pay more attention. Is what I got from it.
But she ain't know he was gonna kill her. Come on now. How she know he
Come
gonna
on,
kill her
come
though?
on.
That's the bullshit right
Nobody.
there.
Does anybody that gets with a killer know that they're gonna get killed? No, that's why he's saying pay attention. If nothing else, pay attention to your
I
Pay
feel like
surroundings.
attention.
there are
Talking
No.
to a
telltale
guy
signs.
straight
Tell
out
you
of jail
true.
might not be the best thing.
Exactly.
And
There
that's true. And that's true. But it comes back. So you saying people out of jail shouldn't get a second chance?
I'm not saying that, but just know that
you have to understand them coming out of jail comes with a risk if you're a female.
Hey,
But
You
it
got to
shouldn't be
understand
murder.
that.
It shouldn't be murder though. It shouldn't be murder.
How would manly gossip? How quick would you be to talk to a female ex-con?
It won't be because I thought she was gonna murder me. I just don't want to. I mean, I probably
So
would, but it won't be
you
because no
got
murder.
enough sense not to talk to one. It don't matter if you think they're gonna murder you. You just got enough sense to not to even talk to one. Why is that?
It's because I don't want to deal with mess.
But that's my issue with Tommy. But again, I already told why I've never done a video on Tommy. But the thing is that Tommy will take those isolated cases and stack them up back to back to back to give the impression that all Black women are this way. And
If it's a whole bunch of cases, they're not isolated, ma'am. Isolated means a few.
No, it doesn't. Isolated.
Oh my
isolated
God.
means it stands alone. It's not the majority of the population that's doing that. And if it is, then I need to see his data show me that's the majority. And it's difficult to make a majority statistic because in order for you to say majority, you have to have surveyed them all. And 51%.
In order for you to say isolated, that means it has to be a few. That has to mean it doesn't happen as often as he's saying it does.
How many millions of Americans there are? That's a few. It's a few. Out of the millions of women there are, it's only a few because he hasn't cited millions of examples.
And how many Black Americans are there? There are only a few, and the few are ruling what we're seeing on the media. So you can't say it's an isolated thing and he stacks them up and it's readily available. You can find millions of videos of Black women doing wretched shit. Can you not? That's not isolated.
They're isolated when you compare it to the whole. Compared to the whole, they're isolated events that happen over a period of time.
So World Star is an isolated Black website. The Gossip Room in the Shade Room is an isolated gossip site where nothing but Black wretchedness comes across. But it's isolated though. It's in 50 states. The wretchedness is in 50 states, but it's isolated.
Let me ask y'all a question though. So only Black people ratchet? I mean, yeah, definitely a Black.
Man.
Oh man, nothing. Definitely,
we look worse than everybody else, so we need to be worried about what we do and not what. Why are we worried about what our neighbor does? Why are we worried about that if our house fucked up? You talk about what other people do. Other people have to fix their own shit.
And that's true. But what about white people killing Black people? We can get on different narratives though, because
that's another thing. That's another thing I want to say.
Because you're only
Tommy Sotomayor focuses on Black people. Tommy Sotomayor focus on what's it called, Black people. Okay, shit. Oh my God. All right.
That's only you.
Only. I get what you're saying though. I get what you're saying about Tommy Sotomayor. I definitely think people need to pay attention to their surroundings and they need to be more careful. That's everybody knows that. But back to what I was saying about Breonna Johnson. He know better than that. He has a nick for putting up Black women that are dead and making jokes about them. I don't care what decision. Your decision you make who you date doesn't mean you should be putting up these people doing them like that. That's disgusting.
Well, the dead can't sue you for defamation of character, so it's easier to pick on the dead. They can't say you're slandering me. I'm going to sue you, Tommy. So that's the difference with the dead. And so it's easier to pick on the dead because there's no repercussions. But I did want to speak to something because I'm gonna go. I've been on here a long time now. Mastodon, I did want to speak to something that he mentioned when he talked about Kevin, and I will say that's one of the upsides that I can say came away from Kevin's platform. I do hear when I read the comments, and even when I did my video and they started responding to me, I could see something that I was not aware of as a Black woman, because I noticed a rift between us. I noticed a divide between Black men and Black women. But and I know that as a whole, a lot of Black women feel abandoned by Black men. That's where a lot of their resentment, bitterness, attitude, mouthy, all of that comes from. We feel abandoned by them.
And I would like to speak on that, Passionate Bliss. I feel that a lot of Black men aren't comfortable being vulnerable with Black men.
Yeah.
I mean, wait, I'm sorry. I feel like Black men aren't comfortable being vulnerable with Black women. And I think that there's a reason to that. And I think it's because you can't put all the blame on Black men.
Right.
I think some of us Black women need to change our attitude when a Black man is willing to be vulnerable with you and open and be with you and all that other shit. I think that we should be treating each other accordingly. And I think that, like I say, it takes two to tango.
But it's kind of like asking them not to have PTSD if you've been in a war. But because I actually wasn't finished. Let me finish. So I feel like, you know, a lot of Black women feel abandoned by Black men, and even when they make it big, they leave us for white women. So they feel abandoned by Black men. But I was not aware of what the opposite side of it was. And I will say Kevin did point that out, because I could see in his comments, and even when I did my video, they commented to me that there's a prevalent feeling among Black men that they feel rejected by us in general. And they feel like they're not uplifted by us. And that was something I actually wasn't aware of. I wasn't aware of what their issue was with us. That was their half of the divide. But that to me came out as a prevalent theme. They feel like they're blamed a lot, and they feel like we're telling them they're not good enough, and they feel rejected by us. So to me, now that could be a point for dialogue to take place. Kevin's bull I'm not interested in, but him exposing that part of it, and I feel like a lot of men gravitate to him because they feel we blame them, that we reject them, and they feel that way. And that's where some of that hostility towards us is coming from. And I felt like he exposed that, but and that could be actually a good talking point, because I want to dialogue, I want to talk, I want to actually solve the problem that we're not together. We're just not.
I want to say something.
Wait, let me tell you too. Also, you said that you know, you felt like Black men were being put down and they weren't being uplifted, and that only Black women were being uplifted. And I want to say that, and that's because, you know, and this statistic has not been debunked with Kevin claimed 72% of our children are being raised in a single parent home. That's well over the majority. And they're doing it by themselves. They have a heavy load on them they were never designed to carry. We were not designed to be head of household. We were never designed to, we were created to be helpers. We're just supposed to be helping. And for us to carry that load, it's too much for us. A lot of us have really lost our mind for us. And we have taken that aggressive stance.
They chose to carry that load. They got pregnant not knowing the type nigga they laid down with.
Exactly. And not only that, you guys depend on the government to raise these kids.
Let people finish. Write down what I'm saying, and then when I'm finished, you can answer. Because I'm gonna go not to. I'm gonna say and listen to what you say, but I'm gonna go.
You should be thirsty. You've been going like 7 straight minutes.
The women need that uplifting. Like you guys, you don't want Derek Jackson to talk, and all these guys who are uplifting and encouraging them. They need it, because the men are not there in their lives to give it to them, and they're carrying a load they should not be carrying, and they have resentment.
They chose to carry that load. Besides, they are strong Black women, right?
To them to hear that.
They are strong Black women, right? They chose to carry the load alone.
So to me, that's the benefit of Derek Jackson, is because he is soothing them and he's helping uplift them when they already are under a huge weight.
That is toxic to me.
Derek Jackson is telling them bullshit.
We're carrying the Black race right now. That's a fact. We're carrying the Black
Derek Jackson is keeping those women single. He's keeping those women single.
Okay, wait. I have to say one thing on that though. So within my generation, I'm 25 years old. Okay, I don't have children of my own yet, because I'm waiting for myself to be in the right position to have a child. But most women my age, and because I am Black, and I've seen it for myself with my cousins having 7 different kids and shit like that.
Ooh, there you go.
Leave their kids with their grandparents or with other family members who are addicted to something to go live their best life. And those kids in our community are being neglected of the proper love, whether it's just the mom being in the relation in their lives or whether the father's involved too. It's on both sides of the party. It's on both sides. It's on both male and female.
Yeah, I never said that because by the same token, I also recognize that Black men are an endangered species. They are hunted. They are preyed on. They are hunted by.
I am not hunted,
either.
ma'am. I have
Yeah,
never been
exactly.
hunted
I don't
a day
want.
in
I
my
don't want to
life.
believe that either.
And I have 4 black kids,
What are
3
you talking about?
sons
Are you
and
looking at
1
the
girl, so we're not
incarceration
endangered
rates?
species.
Do you see the incarceration rates? They are
Ma'am, okay, we're
It's
not endangered
disproportionate.
species. Them niggas are committing crimes. I'm not in jail. You got 3 black men on this panel
That's
right now
you.
who are not in
That's
jail, and we're
you.
not endangered species.
That
I don't
is
need you.
you.
I don't need you spreading that
You
narrative
not
about
endangered
me
species,
or other
but
black
as a
men,
whole,
ma'am.
they are. As a
Ma'am,
whole,
you're
they
not a
are.
black man. You're
They
not a
are.
black man, so you can't tell me I'm a fucking
They are.
endangered species when I just
The
told
thing
you
is
I
that
have 3 male sons and a female daughter.
That's you and your house.
It's 3 other black men on here. It's 3 other
Passion
black
is
men
bliss.
on here.
Then
This
that's
other
three.
black man said he not an endangered
Not the
species
whole.
either, but you tend to say fuck what people say. You
If
just gonna
you
go with what
actually,
you got.
because the difference between me and you is that I have done the research.
You
and I've
why are
done
you talking about
data.
niggas in
I
jail
have
and
done.
we're
You
free?
need to do
What
the
did them
data.
niggas in
Look
jail do
at
to
the
get in jail?
proportion of black men
What
who are
did
in
them
jail.
niggas in
And when you
jail
look at
do
the
to get in
relationship,
jail? A lot of them in
you
there for
probably
child
believe this
support, but you ain't gonna talk
because
about that.
white men
That
have done this.
endangered
You
species
probably
is in there
believe it.
because that
You'll probably
woman is
believe it
putting
because
them in
white
jail for
men.
child support, but you ain't gonna say that. Since
Because
you
I'm
want
not
to talk
talking
about
about
the
that.
incarceration
I'm
rate,
talking about
since
the
you want to talk
availability
about
of black men.
incarceration, talk
I'm talking
about
about
the
the
men in jail
availability
for
of black
child
men.
support.
It's
I'm
apples
not
to
in
oranges.
danger.
You're talking about something else completely.
I'm
I'm
not
talking
in
about the
danger.
availability of black men. They are a hunted species because
No, we're
rate,
not.
their
But
incarceration
Ma'am,
naturally,
I'm
the
a black
whole
True.
man.
That's
No,
not
I'm
population as
not.
a
true.
Your
whole,
dad
there
is
are
black.
more
Was your
women
dad
than
hunted?
men
Was your
in
Do
dad
you know
hunted?
what the
Was
incarceration
your
rate
dad
is?
hunted?
And do
He's
you know
black.
how
Was
that
your
impacts
granddad hunted? He's black.
availability for marriage in the black community? No, you don't. You don't. Because you know what
I
I'm talking
am
about.
not
You don't
hunted.
know.
You cannot
You do
say
not
black
know
men are
the
hunted, ma'am.
proportion
That
of
is a false
incarceration.
statement.
They are. They are. They're arrested at a
I'm
higher
black. How
rate
the
than
fuck
any
you
other
gonna
race.
say we are and I'm black? I
They
have all
are.
black male
That's
friends. None of us
you.
have ever been
That's
But
hunted.
you. I'm
passionate
not
bliss.
talking
What do
about you
you
because
mean
you're not
by
in
black
jail.
men are
You
hunted?
know?
By who? By who? White people?
Yes, by the police,
Police?
by the juvenile
Now
and
here's
the
the
juvenile
thing.
system as well as the penal system. They are the ratio of black men in there to white or Hispanic is phenomenal, almost 3 to 4 times the rate. And also that the age group that it affects the age group that are available for marriage. The men aren't there for the black women to marry because they're in jail. And if you would
Oh
actually
my
do that
God.
research,
Ma'am,
you would see
so
that.
half of our black men are in
I
jail.
didn't
That's
say
the
half.
dumb shit you saying. You said they're not
I did
available.
not.
You said they're not available. So why are you
I didn't say
focusing
half.
on
I didn't
the
say half.
minority that's in jail? Why are
I
you
didn't say
focusing
half.
on the minority in jail and
Because
using them to represent the
because
men
they're
that aren't
missing.
available? This is what you're doing.
Because they're
You
missing.
using the niggas in jail and saying that they're not available, but all the niggas that's outside of jail, what the fuck are we? Why are you even talking about the niggas in jail?
I didn't say that. You said that.
Yes,
I
you
said
did.
the
That's
black
what you're
men.
saying, ma'am. You gonna
That's what you're saying.
kick yourself
That's
in
what
the
you're
ass
saying.
when you hear this playback.
That's what you're
6
saying.
days ago, according to BOP statistics from inmate race, 87,193 white men are in prison and 58,332 black men are in prison.
But Amber, why is that though? Out of 13% of the whole black community, how come 82,000, whatever number you said,
okay, but
out of
you don't know,
whatever communities, how is that on the black community out of the whole?
Cause them niggas committing
is
crimes.
prison.
Okay, let me speak here. I know
Repeat offenders,
no,
man.
why? But why though?
I'm
You
trying to
don't
ask you.
find something that is wrong with that?
Because they're being targeted.
Out of the black,
I'm
the
trying
white,
to
the Hispanics,
answer
the
the
Latinas,
question. If you
the
let
all
me
the other
ask,
immigrants. How come it's only black people that constitutes the 99% of the whole prison community? You don't find something
It's actually not. You just
wrong with
read the
that?
numbers where like there's
I'm
almost
trying
60,000 more white
to
people in
answer
jail.
your question, and you're not giving me an opportunity to.
Because you keep
Because I keep what? I've said it multiple
No,
times.
just answer the question, Amber. Answer the question.
Okay, so now we're not even thinking about all the charges as to why our black men are in there. As Trey said, there are men in there for fucking not paying child support. There's men in there for fucking
Those
walking
are
on the
called
block. There are
non-violent
multiple
crimes.
reasons
Those are
as to
called
why people
non-violent
are in
crimes.
prison.
Why
So you
are non-violent crimes holds just as much merit to a murderer, a rapist, or whatever? That
You know,
it's
in
agenda.
this world,
Let me ask y'all a question though.
there are big picture thinkers and there are small picture thinkers. Kevin attracts the small picture thinkers. There are people who can see the big picture and some people who cannot. Because if you can honestly say that 85,000 versus 55,000, when that 55,000 comes from only 14% of the population, you can't see the huge disparity between those two, then that because you have
Thank you.
and I
That's
wasn't
what I'm
even
saying.
done speaking when I
Let me
was
ask y'all a
saying
question
the
though.
statistics.
There's
Let
no
me
way
ask y'all a question though.
14%
Okay.
should be almost equal to the rest of the population. There's no way it should be that unless there's a systematic, organized method of deliberately
Them
collecting.
niggas are committing crimes and they ain't paying child support, and these black women saying, lock them up, judge.
Let me ask y'all a question though. Do y'all know about how Finland?
Whoever said that, that is not true. The
Let me ask y'all a
government
question
has
though.
taken position that if you don't want to, the government can uphold the woman's charge and prosecute anyway. So that is not true. That is
Let me
not
ask y'all a
true.
question though. You know, in Finland, they treat
How
their
is it
murderers
not
totally
true?
different.
This
Like,
isn't
think
a
about
feeling.
it.
This is the USA. It's not feeling. It's not no other
No, you
country.
said it's not true because the woman can go to jail, so that means the woman is saying lock the nigga up, so I won't go. It is fucking true. Just because you gave an excuse for why the nigga getting
I
locked
did
up,
not
don't make
say
it
that.
less
I
true.
said the government can overpower what the woman say. If the woman say, "Okay, we settled it. I don't want him to go to jail for child support," the law can
How did the
uphold her
state get involved
judgment.
in the first place, ma'am?
It's another percentage
Y'all
of
gave
black
the
men
system
agenda to
his
go to
name, ma'am.
jail.
I have 4 children by 4 women, ma'am. I'm not on child support, so these women have to give the state their name. None of my baby mamas are on welfare, so the state don't need my fucking name.
That's
Y'all have to
your
provide the name.
personal. That's your personal experience.
As if
Let me
you
ask
have
y'all a
to
question
change
though.
That's
about
how it
as
works.
many men.
The state does not know that. How does the state get the kid's name unless you provide it?
True.
They
Let me ask
don't
y'all a
because
Y'all like
they
I
don't.
hate talking to women because simple
The
shit
woman
just
has
goes over y'all
to
head.
Because
put
you have
that
to,
on the
if the woman
docket in
wants
order to make
EBT,
them get
you have
child support
to
paid
put
like
the
that.
husband's name in, the baby daddy name in.
So
If
you
any
repeated what
woman
I
wants
just so I
any,
was right. Y'all put the nigga name in the system.
Let me ask y'all a question though.
your name
But
on the
hold
birth
up.
your name on the birth certificate,
Which you
put your
provide to
name
You
the
in the
have to go
system.
state.
to the court to
The
file to
name
put that
on
on
the
child
child's
support.
birth
I know that from
certificate,
Which you
experience.
the
provide when
name
you
in
fill
your
out EBT.
system.
You have to show them a copy of the birth certificate. And you have to write the dad's name down, man. When you fill out the application, it
You
tells
have
you to
to
list the
file the
name, and then they
petition
ask for your
for child
documents. Stop
support
playing
in order to
dumb.
put
Exactly.
a man
It's just
on
another
child
So you
agenda.
put his
support
It's
name
just
like
down
another
that.
before they ever
agenda.
asked to see the
It's
birth
just
certificate.
another agenda to keep the black man down. And I'm flabbergasted because I don't understand how can you not see it's just another agenda to keep the black man down.
I just want to say this to Passionate Bliss for holding her own because for her being the opposite side, I just want to say thank you because this was really informative on her part. Yeah, I'm doing my research more, but I really believe that black men are at a disadvantage more than black women. You know, society praise black women more than black men. Uh, you can see it on the news, you can see it on the media. They're uplifting them. So it's just interesting to me.
I know from experience that in order to put somebody on legal child support,
Amber, stop.
don't
You
tell me
keep
to stop. Let
talking
me
about
speak my
personal
fucking opinion.
experience, but
If
then
you
you
would
want to talk
stop and
facts.
let me speak
If you're
my
going to
fucking
talk
opinion,
facts or talk
I'm talking
personal
facts.
experience.
If you would stop
But
and let me
hold up,
speak
hold up,
and say
hold up,
what I
hold
have
up.
to say, I know
Let me ask
from
y'all a question.
experience.
Let me
I
ask
don't
y'all
have
a
a
question
child of
now.
my own, but I married a man who has a
Black
fucking child
women are
who
not
is
keeping black
eligible
men
for child
down.
support.
Black
And in
women are
order to
not
do that,
keeping black
you
men
have to go
down.
to the
Black women
court
are not
and put
keeping
it
black
on the
men down.
docket.
It
And
is the system
oh
and
my
it's the
Child support.
government that is keeping black men
Amber, and the
down.
armor.
And
Hold up.
black women
The
are
armor.
holding their position and holding it up. So
The
stop.
armor. Let me. Let me talk for a minute now. Y'all gotta like have a good conversation. Now I can't hear what y'all was saying because y'all arguing. Because y'all coming with good points, but y'all gonna have to
I'm
let
just
one talk
trying
at a
to
time.
like I'm not even being able to get the whole point across besides the point of them having to go to the court and put them on that docket. And I know that for a fact because I was with my husband when he was going through that. Because his ex-wife had to put him on the docket. Yes, the man's name is on the birth certificate, but they don't have to legally put them on a docket to legally have them pay child support. That is a proven fact. Now,
The
further
armor.
to say, I do agree with you that it is another system to hold the Black community and put them in a more vulnerable position. But if you would have let me finish with the facts, you would have heard my whole opinion and thought on the aspect.
But it is
instead, you
not the
decided
Black
to yell at
woman's
me.
fault.
But
I'm trying to tell you that to legally be put on child support, where it is monitored through the government and the court system that causes you to get locked up, the woman has to go to court, or even the man, whoever has primary custody of said child. You have to go to the court and file a petition with the court in order to put said person who does not have custody of that child, because your name is on that birth certificate, to pay child support. And then they take it out of your paycheck. And I know that for a fact because that is personal experience. Now,
And
is
it's
the whole
exactly, and
the
there's
whole
Black
you
women
not
that
paying
have
child
taken
support
their
and you go to prison or
spouses
jail or
off
whatever,
of child
that is
support, and
definitely
the
a
court has
hindrance on the Black
upheld
community.
that child
I'm
support.
not disagreeing with you that it's not a hindrance on the Black community. What I'm saying is there is a process that causes it to happen. And once it is put in the system with the courts and everything for you to have to pay child support, and they don't see you paying child support, then you can get locked up for it. And that is definitely a hindrance on the Black community. But then again, as Black women and Black men, we don't even know how to fucking communicate with each other. So we rely on the courts because we're not willing to come together and co-parent like fucking civilized people. So yes, the government created this because they're preying on our weakness. So instead of us coming together and being able to communicate with each other and co-parent,
okay, Amber, but that's on both. That's on both parents' fault. That's on both sides' fault. That's on
The
both
man
sides.
does not go put himself on
That's
child
on both
support,
sides.
man. The
If
man
he can't
does
come
not
together,
go
she
put
can't come
himself
together.
on
That's on
child
both
support.
sides. That's on both sides.
That's not true,
don't want to
ma'am.
come together. There's plenty of better
We're
women
not
out
gonna
there
sit here and
who don't
act
want to
like
come
there aren't
together with the
women.
man either.
We're
Some
not gonna
people
sit
ain't
here and
putting
act
their
like there
child
aren't women
before
who
they're
don't
putting
just.
the animosity they have between the relationships, and that's just fact.
Okay, I mean, I agree with y'all point. Y'all making some good points. Y'all just gonna have to let one person talk at a time because, like, we can't. It's hard to hear over everybody. But I agree. I mean, like, the system is set up to hurt the Black man, but at the same time, the woman has to put the information out there to get that person locked up. I mean, it ain't just happening.
But
Somebody's
isn't
putting that
that
information out
not
there.
all? Not all. I'm saying that's not all. That's not all. Her situation is probably different. But you
So you
cannot
saying?
say that Black women are the cause, or because Black women does this, because Black women hurt, because Black women have this or whatever.
I didn't
It's the
say that.
cause
I
of a
also
Black
said that
man's
there's
fault.
Hold
Hold on,
women who
let
are
her
When
finish.
putting
Let her
Black
child
finish.
women
Let her
support
finish.
on
hold
you.
that, when Black
Whoa.
women hold a Black man down the most.
I mean, I'm gonna put it like this though. Anytime a Black man gets
I
put in
gotta go,
jail for
y'all. I'm
doing
gonna
something
go
to a
cook
Black
dinner.
woman, somebody has to, like, the woman has to, like, go in and put some up for that. I mean, they ain't just coming by locking up the Black man because the Black woman had to take a charge out on him if he did something.
And
So
that is true. And that is true. That is absolutely true. But
Heck, to
if the
even
Black
get.
woman wants to come and say, okay, it's done, it's done. I don't want to put him on child support no more. We have talked about it. The courts, the systematic
Why are you talking
racism
about
of
the
the
few
government
cases
can
that do that?
uphold her
Why are you
and say
talking about the
no.
few cases that do that?
so you're saying the
Out
court?
of MoneyBoy try out of 13%, out of
You're talking about
13% Black community. and we talking about fucking child support.
Do you know how many?
Really?
You know how many people
how
that
many
13%
men are in jail for
represent?
child support?
Do you know how many people
Rather
that
than how many men
13%
are in jail
represents?
for non-violent crimes?
Child support is non-violent.
And there's more men in jail for non-violent crimes not because of the black woman. It was because of the system made a law.
It's because they did something.
It.
It's because they did something to get in the system. I've never been to jail because I wasn't doing shit. Every time I've been locked up and put in handcuffs, you best believe I did something. It wasn't because I was just minding my business.
Longer because of the system.
How do you stay in jail longer?
You stayed in the jail longer. I put that on everything.
Ma'am, no, I did not. You just assumed that without even asking me how long I stayed in jail. That's bullshit.
Let me ask you a question though. Like, how does the system make it more? I mean, I understand it is a racist thing going on, but the man has to do something wrong. They're not just gonna give him extra time for nothing.
And it also depends on the type of money you have to represent yourself.
That is true. That is true. If you broke, you probably in the worst of positions.
And that's why I didn't get That's why I didn't get longer time than niggas in jail who couldn't make bond. Because some niggas just can't make bond and they're stuck in jail.
Yeah, that's true too. And then if you get a court-appointed lawyer, that ain't good either. If you can't get your own lawyer, that's gonna hurt you.
Yep, because the court-appointed lawyer works for the state. The very same people that are charging you.
But I get what she's trying to come from. I get what you're trying to come from. The almost like the system is set up to hurt the black man, but at the same time, the black man got to be doing something wrong, and the woman got to be putting his name on that thing and having him up.
I got a question.
Yeah, what you got?
What about these children out of wedlock? You know, because that seems to be a problem too. We have a whole bunch of children by different different mothers and fathers, and that seems to be one of the downfalls of the black community.
That is true.
I contributed to that, and I tell my sons all the time that is one of the worst mistakes that I've done in my life, and I regret it, and I preach to them not to repeat it.
Yeah, I mean, and then people get offended. Like mostly women get offended by that. Like you see women with 4 baby mamas. Like you admitted you made a mistake, but you got women out here with 4 baby daddies. If you call them out on that, they will get offended, very offended.
It really, and that's a disservice. Tell you the truth,
it's tit for tat. But it's still a non-violent crime. A black man should not be in jail as long as a murderer, a rapist, or something. Black women are not y'all enemies. And what y'all trying to say is black women, because they did this or did that or did whatever it is, black women are y'all enemies. And believe it or not, we are not.
Yeah, I don't think
just like how a black man should have a second chance. Sometimes black women should have a second chance too. Sometimes black women, and I know personally, have said like, "Damn, I fucked up," and went to the court and tried to help her baby daddy get out that situation.
But let me ask you a question.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Let me ask you a question. When they go and try to help them get out after they put them in, that's called some of the stuff they into. Just like if the man beat the woman and then she go back to him, she like getting her ass whooped. Just like when she got him locked up, she liked that type of shit. That's the type of shit they into. But why you gonna get somebody locked up then take them away? I mean, that's the type of shit you into.
That's how Tommy Sotomayor created his career, because that whole locked up shit with child support. So that's how Tommy Sotomayor was created.
And I'm not saying black women. I definitely don't think black women are the enemy. But if you getting the man locked up, then you going back telling him to come in. It's like I know this dude who just got out of prison. He was with this woman. She cut him. I guess he was beating her ass. She cut him upside the head. This nigga went right back down there. He into that shit. He liked that type of shit. If you like that type of shit, then that's the life y'all living. So if you get this dude locked up and then you try to go down there and get him out, that's crazy as hell. That's the type of shit y'all into. So if he locked up because of her and she want to get him out afterwards, he needs to stay there, because end of the day, I'm not going to go back to somebody who keeps getting me locked up. And that's the type of shit that's going on.
Yes, and that you would be dumb to keep going back to that person. Like, what the fuck? When are you going to learn your lesson? Second chance my ass. I only got one chance at freedom. I'm not gonna let nobody throw that away. Fuck
exactly.
love.
Exactly. Because at the same time, just like, man, I know women who getting their ass whooped by the man. And then I remember, like, I got a sister. Dude was beating her ass. My cousin go down there, beat his ass, and then she'll go back to him. They do the same thing. At the end of the day, I ain't gonna keep whooping this motherfucker ass because you want him to whoop your ass. So at the end of the day, if you like getting your ass whooped, you stay with that nigga. Just like if you keep being with a woman who's getting you locked up and put you in that predicament for the government to do you like that, it's a problem. So we gotta blame these people. Like, man, why are you damn dealing with this type of stuff?
That goes back to being aware of your surroundings and who you choose to be with in these relationships.
Exactly, I agree. Hey, the Armors, you sound very low. I can't hear you. The Armors, I can't hear you. You sound very low. Yeah, you sound very low, very, very low. You got anything to say, Mr. Tough Love?
Man, I just walked back to the phone, bro.
Okay. But yeah,
Can y'all
man,
hear me now?
yeah, I can hear you now. What you got to say?
I said that's funny how, as a black community, we hold each other for a harsher punishment than our counterparts, our white counterparts, our immigrant, whoever. We hold each other for a harsher
What do you mean?
punishment or a judgment, better word, judgment. And we should not do that. We
What you
should
mean?
not.
Explain yourself. What you mean by we hold ourselves at a harsher punishment?
Example, MoneyBoy Trey said he has 4 baby mamas, and his 4 baby mamas never did what he saw whatever to do. And so explaining what he should have done or what he have done, he hold the people or the whoever for a harsher judgment than
Wait a
I'm
minute. I
kind of
said
not.
what?
help his
Wait a minute. You
friends,
said
help
what?
whoever he knows to
I'm
get out of a
confused.
situation.
I'm
I'm
lost.
confused. What you mean? What you
But
mean,
yet
Money
he
Boy?
still blames black women. Like black women have nothing to do with that.
What did you say? I said. Let me help you clarify. What did you say? I
I
said.
think last time I heard, he said that he's putting his kids on notice that he made a mistake having 4 different baby mamas. Now I'm kind of confused.
Yeah, I said.
Well,
I
I
regret it.
kind of cut out. I didn't hear all of that. I kind of cut out. But the
Yeah,
last
I
I
said I
heard is
regretted it. I
his
said I'm
mama
not on
doesn't. I
child
mean, his
support.
baby mamas. He has 4 baby mamas, and he doesn't have child support of any of them. So it's the black woman's fault because those black women need child support from their black man.
No, I'm not on
What?
child support, ma'am. I'm not
Well,
on child support.
that's what I'm
Talking
saying.
about.
I'm
So
saying,
if my
but
baby
you
mama's
blaming the
on
black
child
woman
support,
because
I'm not
she
blaming
put
them for
men.
anything. I'm
No, you.
commending my baby mamas for not putting me on child support for
So you
working with me
can't
as a
blame
man.
those black women that did put their baby daddies on
Yes,
child
I
support.
can. Yes, I can because I've dealt with 4 different women who chose not to go that route. It means either I'm a good judge, I have a good judgment of the women I procreate with, or I'm a good dad. It's one of the two because I'm not on child support, and none of them ever decided to go
Okay,
down
so
there.
let's be clear.
None of
Let's
them
be
got,
clear. You're not a
state
good
assistance.
judgment of a woman. You're not a good judgment of a woman
How
who
come I'm
would be
not on child
married.
support?
You will be married
Well,
I
I'm
don't.
not
by
I
on
don't
now.
child
believe that.
support.
That's
So
bullshit.
you're not a
That's
good
Whoa.
bullshit.
judgment of a
Are you
woman.
That's
married?
bullshit.
Are you
That's
Yes,
married?
bullshit.
yes,
Well,
happily married.
congratulations. Marriage ain't for everybody, darling. Thank you for
Exactly.
putting me in that box.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know
But
about
I
what
did
you
not
saying.
put that type of judgment on you. I did not put
You
that type
just
of
judged
judgment
me
on
and
you,
said
Trey boy. Because I do know men who
you
don't
just
want to take
judged
care
me
of
and
their
said if I
kids,
had a
who
good
pay
judge of
child
character,
support,
I would
but
be
don't want
I
to
married.
be
want
in
to. I
their
want to.
kids' life because they don't want to pay child
I want to ask
support.
that question. I want to ask that question. Who you put the fault on? Do you put the fault on the man that don't want to, what's it called, raise a kid, or you put it on the woman for having knowing that the man don't want to be with her?
Who you asking?
I put it on
I'm
both.
asking.
Because
I'm putting
I'm
on more.
unbiased. I'm unbiased, so I put it on both.
The woman is
I
the
put it
one
on
that
the
got to
both.
keep the kid. The woman the one that's gonna have to get food stamps and all of
Exactly.
that assistance. And if you
Exactly.
be
That's I put
100,
it on the woman.
a lot of women would be homeless if they didn't have kids. If they didn't have kids, they wouldn't have that free house. They wouldn't have that free rent. They wouldn't have that food. So a lot of these bitches are just coming up off the system and trapping
And
niggas
Off the
in
white
it's a
prison.
government.
lot of
That
White
is
men.
government
true.
It's a
right
lot of
there.
men as well that have children that they don't take
Children.
care of, but living with that girl that has kids, that's on food stamps, that's on Section 8, and
Are
that
you
does
hearing
all
what
that
you
stuff,
hearing
but
what
they
you
don't take
saying?
care of
So
their
this
kids,
woman,
but they'll
so
take care
this
of their
woman,
bitch kids. So don't do that.
are you
Don't do
listening?
that.
Are
That's
you listening to what
disrespectful.
you saying? So
I
this
caught it.
woman
I
that's
caught it.
already on welfare, laying up with another nigga who ain't taking care of his kids. That's
Let,
all the woman's fault.
let me
And
ask
that's
you a
their
question
fault
though.
right there. Black
Let me ask,
women are depending on the white government. This
let me
what's it
ask y'all a
called? The
question though.
system.
I got another question. If that woman had kids and another dude is laying up, most of the time dudes get out of prison, they ain't look for single moms. So usually that woman who has 4 different baby daddies finds another dude, a fifth dude, who
No,
comes in
when
the
a man
house.
get out of prison, he looking for some good pussy. So when he talks to that
Oh
girl
no, no,
that he
no.
thinks that he
What?
got some good pussy,
What?
he's gonna go to that good pussy first because he
No,
has
no, no, no,
probably
no,
three or
no,
four
no, no,
different women
no,
that
no,
he's
no,
talking
no.
to, and so he
The
just
armor.
choosing. So
No,
let's get it straight right now.
It's
no, no, the
crazy.
armor.
Jail niggas
I'm
have a great.
well
How do
aware of the
niggas
black
out of jail
community.
have a
The
bigger
armors, you
selection of
wrong, you
women than me?
wrong. The armor. When a dude, I know a dude right now, when he got out of prison, this woman got 4 different baby daddies. She's sitting at home, she living off the system. She would be homeless if she didn't have all
Exactly.
them kids. When that dude got out of prison, he targets a woman like that. He like, she got 4 different kids. She don't got a man there. That dude got out of prison. He goes straight there. He like, I'm gonna get on her because she gonna be easier. She gonna have a lower self-esteem, and she need a man to help her with them kids.
So
So
is that a man or is that a boy?
Okay.
Is that
I
a man
want to
or is
say
that a
something. I
boy?
want to say
Where
something.
the
And Money
baby
Trey,
daddy for the 4
I
kids at?
commend you because you sound more like a man than a boy. But Mandy Gossip, you talking about a boy. I'm not talking about boys.
Well, apparently
But
she likes boys because she done got pregnant by 4 of them who ain't helping her take care of the kids, and she depending on a nigga getting out of jail to help her.
exactly. And them
no,
dudes
she's
target
not.
those type of women.
No,
Yes,
the
she
fuck she's
is.
not.
So
Yes,
why
she
would
is.
she deal with him then? So why would she
Reason would
deal
she
Why
with
is it
him
your
then?
have?
choice?
Why
Okay,
would she deal with him
whatever.
then?
Whatever.
So you,
What reason does she have with
Why would
4
she
kids
fuck
living
with
on
him
her own
then?
and she's stable to have with a
Why
man
would
that
she
just
fuck
got out
with
of
him
jail?
then? Why
What
would
is
she
the
fuck
only
with him?
reason? Sex? What's the only
Oh
reason
my
that he want
God.
to do?
So are you
Sex?
saying women are
What's the only
stupid?
reason that
So
he
are you
want
saying women
sex
are
in a
that
place to
stupid they
stay?
can't just get sex? They gotta
So,
move the
so I
nigga in
want
to get sex. They gotta
I
have a
want I want to
relationship with the
understand
nigga to
this.
get sex.
I want to understand this. So you bring a dude from jail around kids that don't know him. You don't know what this dude from jail gonna do to your kids.
You don't know
This
if
is
he
why I
been
say
fucking men. All the men
exactly.
that's not
I
Or
in
he
don't
or
jail.
know.
he's a child predator or
Y'all
whatever.
jump to the subject. I'm talking about non-violent crimes. Well, that's what me and Amber
Nigga,
was talking about
we
of the
said
black
jail.
community. Y'all talking
We
about all
talking
this
about
jail shit.
jail. You don't know what we didn't just started talking about jail. Non-violent was like 30 minutes ago.
but I put it
I
like this though. A lot of women who got a lot of kids like that and living off the system, dudes that get out of prison target those women because they need somewhere to stay, and it ain't about no sex. They just need somewhere to
Manly
stay. Them niggas getting
gossip
out of
is
prison.
also a mental illness within the black community where
Yeah,
our white
women.
counterparts will not acknowledge.
Well, what is the
Now,
mental illness? What is the
Mental
mental illness?
illness, like
Manly gossip. Let me
mental
ask you
illness, like
something.
something that we probably need help with,
What
or
do we need
therapist,
white people to acknowledge it
psychology.
for?
We black community needs that. Though our white counterparts have that. So
We
I
have
don't
it
know if
too.
y'all
We
watch
just
it.
don't
No,
utilize it.
excuse me. I don't know if y'all watch the news because I watched the news since I was a child.
Are
Most
you
of our
drinking?
white counterparts gets off because
Are
of
you drinking?
therapy. They just need
We have
therapy.
access
But some
to
of
it too. We
our
just
black
don't use
people
it.
that has done some
Ma'am, you can
really
use
messed
your
up stuff,
insurance and go
they
seek
probably need
therapy.
therapy too.
You can use your insurance and go get therapy. You can pay cash for therapy. So you can't say that the system
You
doesn't
cannot
acknowledge it for
you
us.
cannot get insurance
Yes,
straight out of jail.
ma'am.
You
I
cannot
went to
get
premarital
insurance straight out of
counseling on
prison.
insurance.
You have
I went
insurance
to
in prison
premarital
because
counseling on
there's like
insurance.
what 35,000 for each prisoner that's in prison
What does that have to do with therapy,
within
ma'am?
our 13%.
What does that have to do with mental therapy, ma'am?
A man that's straight out of prison, non-violent crime, violent crimes, whatever, probably needs therapy.
A non-violent crime
yeah,
person needs therapy. Why would a non-violent crime person need therapy?
You bring this type of man around your kids, this person that needs therapy.
Because who knows what he went through? Who knows?
Oh my God.
They offer therapy to our white counterparts. They don't offer therapy
They
to
don't
our
offer
black
therapy
men.
to no
They don't
non-damn
offer-
violent
oh my
offenders.
God. Oh my God. Oh my God. All right.
Like, where's your proof of this? Like, you seem like you watched a few Hidden Colors and you just lost your damn mind. You hate the white man.
I don't hate the white man.
No, I learned this. I don't
hate the white man. I don't like the government. I don't like the government because I see the separation that they are doing right now, and it's quite evident. And while we worrying about baby mamas and baby daddies,
ma'am, you're promoting that divide by saying what our white counterparts.
I'm gonna put it like this though. If you want to say divided, that's been going on since slavery. Slavery, they divided the kids, the man, the woman, and all that stuff. So Willie Lynch letter was built to make the light skin, the dark skin, the man and the woman go against each other. So if you're gonna say the government,
exactly, manly gossip, exactly.
But listen though. Even though it was started, it's a whole generation now. It's a new generation. I mean, I understand the Willie Lynch letter was made, but then come on, that was a long time ago. Black people got to goddamn start using their head now. That's why people like Tommy Sotomayor and Kevin Samuels able to manipulate black people because you still.
I ain't saying that. I think they waking up people. Tell you the truth.
Well, they are waking up people. What I'm saying is,
who are they waking up? Who are they waking up? No, Master. What's your name? Master.
I've personally been awakened and helped by Tommy Sotomayor.
Are they waking up?
I've personally been affected by, woken up, and helped by Tommy Sotomayor.
I as well.
By doing what? You have a personal relationship with your baby mamas.
A personal. They're the same person that will send you to jail if you don't do anything. The same
what does that have to do with anything?
Jail if you don't do what they tell you to do. They'll put you on child support. If things don't go their way, you'll get a free trip to jail. That's how I see it.
So if you would have done what you needed to do,
see, there it is right there.
Done what you needed to do. If you would have protected yourself in the first place,
he got to protect himself now.
Proud?
So you admit that you put the man in the system.
Like the way it felt in the.
You put the man in the system out of vengeance because you felt he didn't do what he needed to do. What you decided he needed to do, you put him in the system out of vengeance.
Both.
No. What you just said was if he did. No, what you just said was if he had done what he needed to do and protected himself.
Just like the woman, if she would have done what she needed to do.
You didn't mention the woman until just now, ma'am. You didn't mention the woman until just now. You pretty much were saying the man gets what he deserves.
I cannot.
You saying the man gets to get what he deserves and the woman gets to feel like a queen.
You have 4 baby mamas.
And?
Okay, we're going to put it like this.
Irresponsible?
It's irresponsible to you, but I don't know how. And I'm in all 4 of my kids' lives still being a father. I coach on their teams and etc. So I don't know what the fuck
you don't have a foundation.
Again,
thank you for trying to
put me in your box.
Let's talk about our white counterparts.
Thank you for trying to.
You don't have a foundation. You don't have generational wealth.
I do have a foundation. Ma'am, you don't know me. You're making a whole bunch of assumptions.
But you blame the black woman for the
I can say you're uneducated because the way you've been talking, you've been fucking up simple words. So I can say you're an uneducated, wretched hood female, but I won't make those assumptions. So I need you to stop making these assumptions about me.
I'm going by what you're saying. I'm
only going off the words that you're fucking up.
Black suburban,
and I'm only going off the words that you're fucking up.
See me while I'm married.
How do you feel? How do you feel my kids don't have a foundation because they don't see me and their mom sleeping in the same bed? How do you get this?
Well, I will say
What are
this
you
too.
talking about?
You
Let me
said
ask
my
you a
kids don't
question.
have a strong
Hold on, Trey.
foundation
Let the
because
host
they
say
have four
something.
baby mamas.
Let Manly say something, man. It's just shit.
My
Let me
bad.
ask y'all a question now. I will say this though. Even though he got 4 baby mamas, he admitted his mistakes. But like I was saying earlier, it's a lot of women have 4 kids by 4 different dudes. If you say anything about it, and I'm not against the black woman, but if you say anything about a black woman with their 4 kids, it's like you wrong. You all black women gonna get mad. But when a black
Exactly.
dude got 4 different
But
kids,
black women,
hold
black
up,
women
hold
Let
hold
him
up,
our
finish.
women
Let him
accountable
finish.
as
Let
well.
hold
him
up.
finish.
Black women hold our
Let him
accountable.
finish.
No,
Let
they
Hold
him
do
each
not.
other
finish.
accountable as
No, they
well.
do
Let him
not.
finish.
No, black man has 4 different kids by somebody, he gets crushed on. But if a black woman got 4 different baby daddies, if somebody say something about it, all black women get mad. They be like, "Oh, so you don't
No,
want to
that's
talk about
not
it like
true.
that?"
That's not
It
true.
is
That
It
is
true.
is
By
that's
my
true.
absolutely
experience,
not
it
true.
is.
That is
That is true
absolutely
by my
not true.
experience. By my
That's
experience, it is
and then make
true.
it so bad. You in jail for a non-violent crime. So instead of putting you in jail for a non-violent crime, why can't a black
Are you
man
drunk?
talk to that black
What?
woman about coming
She
together?
drunk. She drunk.
My baby mama called. My last baby mama called into my show the other day while I was live. We had a rip roaring good
Armor,
time.
you
I don't know
drunk.
nothing about that. I don't know
But
nothing
You
about
drunk.
that.
exactly. But you said my kids don't have a strong foundation. That's the point I'm making, ma'am. You just talking
You
shit.
don't. You don't because
According to who?
if you
I just
did,
told you my
you would
baby
not
mama and my
have
daughter
four
called in on the
kids
show.
by
How
four
are
different
two
women.
people? How are two people raising kids together, raising healthy adults, not a strong foundation? I didn't know there was a book that said I had to marry these women or be in their lives. I thought my job was just to set an example and be a man for them and tell them not to repeat my mistakes. But they do still have 2 parents, so I don't understand how they don't have a foundation. Please explain that to me. I didn't know there was a book that said I had to marry these women or be in their lives.
Gotta
Whoever
mute the
came
shit.
in got to
I don't
cut
Mute the
know.
shit.
YouTube
It's a
off.
back. It's background. I ain't hear nothing.
Hey, Mr. Tough Love, what you got to say? Let Mr. Tough Love talk.
So I don't understand how they don't have a foundation. Please explain that.
I'm waiting for him to mute his mic.
Now
MoneyBoy
my
say
mic
you
is
don't have
muted.
a
Love the
foundation
guy that
because
just came in has to
you
cut
blaming
YouTube off.
black women for some shit. Whatever.
Okay.
That's love above hate. That's plain that.
Mr. Tough Love, talk.
Manly gossip. I think you need to mute love above hate.
Yeah, he might. I thought he was coming in, so.
And he still got YouTube open from where he hit the link, so he got to shut YouTube down.
I can't hear
All right.
anything. I hear
All right.
background noise.
What you got to say, Mr. Tough Love?
I think, first of all, I think that you having a very informative panel. I think it's difficult. Trey, know I got the uppermost respect for him. I'm just coming across manly gossip today, and I think what I'm saying the dude is dope. What I'm saying, and I appreciate you inviting me on the panel. And shout out to all the other panelists. This is difficult, y'all, because the women have come on this panel have been outnumbered for the majority of the night. This is just being fair, right? So
Right.
it's difficult. It's difficult because again, when you feel like you're having that conversation, it almost goes into a defensive posture. I know we can't see the woman that's on the panel right now, her face, but you can tell by what she's saying and me just sitting back listening. I think that she has merit to what she's saying. I think that there is an equal responsibility for both men and women. I do think that men get railroaded when it comes to child support. I think that the statement that she made in regards to people being irresponsible for having 4 kids. I have 4 kids, and I actually claim a fifth child because I've grown accustomed to taking care and supporting her. So I don't think it's irresponsible. I think that if you don't handle your responsibilities, that's irresponsible. So I think we have to be careful about how we, throw things out there. But it sounds like she's drinking a little bit, so I understand being saucy too. You know what I mean? But I think it's a great panel. I think everybody has points. I wish it was more women on the panel to kind of balance out the
I'm
structure.
drinking.
It sounds like you're drinking. I could be wrong
I
though.
think it's nerves.
Yes, you are.
Okay,
Yes, you
okay.
are.
Well, you kind of have some slurred speech, so I thought that was because of drinking, but that could be I could be wrong.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, don't be sorry. Hey,
I'm
that was
smoking a
my fault
blunt.
for saying that. My bad. My bad. My
I'm
bad.
smoking a
I
blunt.
mean, it's been cool tonight, man. I'm talking about I enjoyed all y'all being on the show and stuff, man. We had a good conversation, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, this is something I want to do all the time. So I give everybody the opportunity to speak their mind. You know, it got a little bit out of hand a little bit, but I ain't minding getting out of hand a little bit because at the same time, when people start getting their emotion and arguing about something, people gonna try to overtalk them. That's the
Yeah,
only thing.
slurring speech. I'm sorry. Mr. Tough Love, I'm sorry. I was smoking a blunt. Money
He knew
Boy
it.
Trey, I'm sorry. What's your name? Wait, Money
Oh,
Boy Trey.
it's all love. I don't get offended by these things. It's you two.
I'm not offended. I'm not offended. It's
No,
just
I'm
like
telling
black
you, there's no
women,
need to
we hold
apologize.
we got y'all. Like your four baby mamas, she got your back.
I have myself, ma'am. That's like you keep making it seem like they doing shit on their own. They're not. I am very involved. That's what the part you keep missing. Like that's why I keep saying you're putting me in a box, thinking that because I got four baby mamas, I'm just out here not fucking with my kids. That's why I had to point out to you. They called into my show the other night and stayed on for quite a minute. My last one. It's no beef.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty dope. I mean, like it's like this though. Four kids, four different baby mamas, or whatever it is. As long as you're doing what you got to do, that's all that counts. But the whole question I was saying was, when a man has four different baby mamas, you know, they get treated a little bit different. Like women, yeah, definitely when women have four different men, it doesn't look good. But if you say anything about it, it's gonna be looked at. Not even have four baby daddies, but you can't say you don't want to date a woman with four kids or this other black woman won't want to talk to you. So, but I get what you're saying though about what you were saying about him. But he admitted to his irresponsibility. But a lot of black women who got four baby daddies don't think they're irresponsible. The arms, I can't hear you. You're going in and out. I can't hear you. No, you sound very low.
I'm just amazed at how these niggas that get out of jail get a pick of all the bitches in the world. They just get the pick of the litter.
It's right. They usually smart though. I mean, they know what type of women they can aim for. They
No,
usually smart.
but that lady earlier said she know women that make 100,000 that are marrying niggas coming out of jail. That's the first thing I came on the panel and said because I was shocked she said it. That's why I was
Right,
like, if she watch this back, she gonna kick herself in the ass.
right. And I don't know if that happens all the time, but yeah, it's probably some dudes out of prison getting women with making $100,000 a year. Now the dudes
Maya Moore husband.
I know dudes getting out of prison, they ain't getting those type of women. Usually dudes getting out of prison prey on low self-esteem women. They're smart.
Breonna Johnson.
Exactly. They are smart. They prey on women with low self-esteem. That's usually women who are living in a household with a bunch of kids, or somebody like Breonna Johnson. They prey on women who probably think, "Oh, I can't get a man like that, so I'll take my chances with him."
I got a question for you, Manly Gossip. What's
Yeah.
your take on certified truth?
I don't know, man. Like certified truth. I ain't had no problem with it because I was on his live show before, but I definitely don't agree with him making 20 and 30 videos. Like I was trying to tell Passionate Bliss, like everybody else was. She said somebody who was combating Tommy, but he's
Yeah,
becoming
and that's
stalkerish.
wrong.
He's
That is
becoming
wrong.
stalkerish. He becomes stalkerish because he wakes up in the morning and has a video of Tommy getting his dick sucked, and he's posted it over and over again. That is fucking sick. Cause who wants to get up in the morning and see another dude getting his dick sucked?
And he paid for it.
I mean, that's some wild shit. I can see you watching it one time, but you're making 25 videos off that shit. That shit's sick.
And dude's nuts. Like when he said he was waiting on his stimulus to fly her to beat Tommy up, I knew he was nuts.
He ain't getting no
Right.
stimulus. Canadian,
And
ain't he?
And I don't got nothing against Certified Truth TV, but what got me on one of my shows when Tommy came on, he was so outraged about trying to get on there to argue with the man. But I didn't let him on there because I knew he was gonna run Tommy off the show. But then he took it offensively. So I talked to Certified Truth TV, and I said, why was you so outraged to get on my show and argue with him? Why don't you let him come on your show? And he said, I'm not going to let him come on my show because he said that Tommy would disrespect him. I said, so why did you want to come on my show and argue with him? If you can't argue with him on your own show, then that's a problem. You got to man up and talk to this man on your own show. Because if you're not going to get on my show and mess it up trying to argue with Tommy when we having a civilized conversation. And that's what I tried to explain to Certified Truth TV, but he's kind of immature.
He is immature because he used terms that don't make sense. He likes to use a word like you're deflecting and don't know how to use the word correctly. He'll be using statements like you're moving the goalposts. And I'm like, dude, do you even know what that means? He'll just say things just to say things. And I feel like he does a disservice to people who want to learn. When he, Tommy desperately try to talk to him. He's like, yo, let me talk to you. Let's have this conversation. I don't want to come after you. Nope. This dude made a ass of himself. Can't really say nothing. He swear he's saying something. When you pin him to the corner, he starts to saying, I'm doing this for Breonna Johnson, Kanika Jenkins. I'm doing this for black women everywhere. I'm doing this for the black community. I'm like, dude, you're not doing this. You're a scorned bitch that's just making noise just because you don't like what one man said to you. To me, I was like, you don't do that. People are actually trying to learn. He says YouTube is for entertainment. Well, some people use YouTube for education and how to do certain things. So if you're going to apply some knowledge, you better apply knowledge and don't do some stupid shit where you're just slandering a man or you're trying to do mudslinging towards a man that basically have points. You had numerous chances to talk to Tommy, and then you as soon as he goes to somebody else to I guess state his case, that's when you want to appear. You're not a man at all, Certified Truth. To me, you're a grown boy.
I agree. I mean, and he was cool to up that point. Then he was doing all this crispy black. I'm like, come on, bro. That's the problem. You're trying to insult the man's color of skin. You're just as dark as him. It doesn't matter about your color of skin. You're not making any sense. Crispy. And then 25 videos in a row. I mean, damn, bro. I'm like, you need some help, man. I'm telling you need some help. All these dick pics of Tommy and shit. It just got out of hand. And Mr. Tough Love called him out on it. And I'm gonna tell you something else he did to Mr. Tough Love when he told Mr. Tough Love to come on his show. Every time Mr. Tough Love had a point he made, he'll be like, he'll act like he's not paying attention. And he'll be like, act like he's paying attention to motorcycles or some shit. I didn't never understand that.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. Obviously, I think a younger guy. He's created a platform where he has the power to go against Tommy, to speak out against Tommy, and that's a way of empowerment for him. However, my issue or concern with him was that he felt that him having a platform, the premise of his platform was to help the black community. I had to call flag on the play, especially when I gave him the opportunity to kind of tell me, what is the end state? Where do you see yourself, going with your channel, with the content that you create? And I think that he was a little taken back by it because he's never really had that conversation. So, yeah, he's definitely, I think he comes across as hurt and childish more so as trying to help black women and black men.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad though. I mean, he got to do better though, man. Like, I ain't really got no problem with him, but I mean, dang, I mean, if you heard about the situation, everybody get hurt. You can't go around acting childish because you got hurt. Like, I told him, you never met Tommy in person. How are you so hurt by Tommy? Like, it's kind of weird.
Well, I think he idolized him to a certain degree. Again, he's younger. And if you guys ever known anyone to see their idol, like, see someone where they hold at a high stature and then to be rejected, now is the time to say, well, this is how I'm gonna get back at you. I'm going to join the other people that say they don't like you, and I'm going to use the narratives that they use. Well, my thing is this: if I am saying that you are toxic Tommy Sotomayor, you are toxic Kevin Samuels, then that means my behavior can't match and emulate their behavior. It has to be a hierarchy, and he has presented no hierarchy. So therefore, you are just as worse as the person you're condemning.
Yeah, it's true.
I actually I saw that video Tough Love made. It was really empowering. I guess it was the beat that you use, or the I don't know, it's something about it was like, you know, waking up. But you know, you did a good job getting at Certified Truth, Tough Love. I just want to say thank you for that video. That was a good video. I just wish it got more views.
I'm sure Tommy will see it or whatever case. And again, man, I'm not, and it's crazy because MoneyBoy Truth is actually, I'm sorry, not MoneyBoy Trey is actually a big Tommy fan. And we're, me and MoneyBoy are kind of connected at the hip to a certain extent. So he kind of gives me the updates on Tommy. And what I wanted to do was really try to find out, you know, if anyone that was going against Tommy or speaking on Tommy really had any relevant beef. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like, you know, Certified, of course, his video stuck out with the bananas and dildo. I'm like, what? Goddamn, he must have a real beef with this man. So I said, let me check it out. You know, so I watched about 10 minutes. He was live. I watched about 10 minutes of it, and he mentioned that, you know, he was doing this for because Tommy Sotomayor was a detriment to the black community. He was doing this for black women, and I said, okay, well, let me hit the link. Let me come up. So I went up there, and then I started to ask him certain questions. And to me, he got uncomfortable. And I don't believe you should get uncomfortable. First of all, that's your platform. Second of all, if you've based your platform on a narrative that you are preaching, then you should easily be able to talk about it. But he felt uncomfortable, and he got very agitated to a certain point where I'm asking him specific questions, and instead of answering those questions, he then took it somewhere else. So I mean, I'm hoping he's listening. I'm hoping I invite everyone to come over to the Tough Love channel, and because I believe it's a neutral channel. So if you have a grievance with anybody and you feel like, hey, I need a neutral platform where someone's going to moderate, then cool, pull up. But I appreciate the shout out, big bro.
Yeah, that's cool though, man. I agree with that, man. Like at the same time, it doesn't matter if you got a problem with someone. You just can't be getting out of hand like that. I mean, I feel like this. If you got a problem with the man, you should have talked to him. Like I personally didn't have a problem with Tommy, but I did let him on the show and I did talk to him because I knew that having Tommy.
Thank you for doing that. Thank you for doing that.
You're welcome. And I knew having Tommy on my show was going to help me. I was trying, and another reason why I let him on the show is because I wanted to get the understanding of why he was talking about Breonna Johnson like he was and why he does the thing he does. And he explained to me. I learned something from him. Like, okay, man, yeah, I kind of understand where you're coming from now. I still don't agree with you, but you're not as bad as person as I thought you would because I got to know a little bit of something about him. And that's what Certified Truth TV is going to have to do. He has to get to know the man a little bit online. You're not, unless you're going to meet him in person. But if you're going to keep making videos and not making any sense, and like my homeboy pointed out, he was telling a lot of lies too. Like a lot of stuff he was saying was lies. Like, and he stuck by his lies too. I'm like, bro, you got to admit you're lying. Because
manly gossip. I want to point out something that I don't know if she's one of your followers or whatever, the Armors. Yeah. I wanted to read her comment because I'm also streaming this on my page too, and I don't want my people to go get her. So I'm just going to address this real quick. She says, "My bad, I'm done, Mr. Tough. You added no value, the situation, no input. I respect you though, MoneyBoy Trey." Now here's my issue. My issue is that I don't know if she's seen this whole 3-hour, stream or whatever case be, but I thought that the conversation that she was having was frivolous. I felt that there was no value in talking to someone that I believe to be drunk. She admitted herself that she was smoking weed, therefore her verbiage was slurred. So I'm not going to argue with a drunk person or someone that's not in their right mind. So I don't know how she missed the points that I made, but I felt that whatever she was saying to MoneyBoy Trey in regards to saying that he's irresponsible for having 4 children, but he's also stating that I'm in those 4 children's life. So there are people out here with 1 child that they don't take care of. So she threw out insults to him and felt that I needed to then join in and provide input. Well, the input is this. A lot of the things, like I stated, a lot of the things that were stated tonight are people's opinion, and there are facts dwindled and twinkled inside of there. However, if you're going to come to a panel where no one else is drinking, no one else is high, and you're going to try to provide input and insults, then no one's going to value your opinion. I didn't value your opinion, so therefore I addressed the panel and I said what I needed to say. So hopefully she hears this on the playback. Again, if she wants to have a conversation with me, Tough Love, Mario J, come holler at me. But in reference to throwing like crazy stuff in the chat room or in the comments, you had your opportunity to speak to me. And I don't know if that's because you want my attention, but you had your opportunity to speak to me when you was on the panel, but you didn't address me. And I guess because I called you out with your slurred language. But go ahead, bro.
But yeah, that was true though. Yeah, you seen game when you seen it though, because I didn't pay anything too. I just noticed that she was just trying to overtalk. But a lot of people tonight was trying to overtalk. When people emotions get into arguments, they try to overtalk. Because Passionate Bliss definitely was the man that she was going to overtalk everybody, and she wasn't drunk. Passionate Bliss wasn't drunk.
She did a good job. She did a good job. Even though I don't agree with everything she said, she did a good job.
Yeah, she did. Like sometimes people gotta understand you can't overtalk each other. Sometimes you gotta let people talk. Passionate Bliss was determined to talk, but like the Armors, once you said she was drunk, she said no, I'm not, and then she came back and said she was high. So she lied and then she admitted to herself. That's why she came at you like that, Mr. Tough Love, because you called her out on shit and she lied about it. She said she was not drunk, but you are high.
Well, see, this is what happens with the Tommy Sotomayors and the Kevin Samuels. When you call people out on their shit, and I wasn't disrespectful, I just noticed, again, I'm listening. Even when I fell off the panel, I was still listening because I have my computer upstairs in the office going. So I'm listening to your conversation, and I'm listening to the value and input that you are providing for the conversation. I'm not high and I'm not drinking, so therefore I'm in my right mind. Now, if you're in your right mind and your speech is slurred, okay, cool, got it. And I was going to leave it at B. She came back and admitted, oh, I'm over here getting high. So let me get this straight. You're dealing with people who are not intoxicated or and that are in their right mind, and you're trying to provide a conversation as if we are going to say what you're saying is right. If you don't respect people on the panel to be like, you know what, I need to be in my right mind having this conversation. You're not in your right mind. You're insulting people, talking about this man with 4 kids, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then you run to the comment section when you had a chance to speak to the actual person, and that's the issue that I have with people.
MoneyBoy. Trade. MoneyBoy. Trade. Private jet flights overseas.